I think we sit around bull crapping sometimes, and it's like we're throwing away good content. We could have just went ahead and went live, and people could have been jaw jacking with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, normally it's like, hey, what kind of beer you drinking today? What beer you drinking, dude? Is it Bud Light? No, not Bud Light. Yeah,
Oh, Pete, I just seen your message, buddy. I was taking a nap earlier. Sorry about that.
gotcha. I stole something you can't kill the other
Tecate,
day. I have no ideas. I just popped it open.
Tecate. Yeah, they got that here.
Do they?
I don't. I've never seen the light though. Maybe that's new. But Tecate, you know, it's in the you've seen it. It's in all the Mexican restaurant has the burgundy
I don't
or
think I
the
have actually. Oh, you know what? Yes, the burgundy reddish. Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Hmm. What do y'all like to use for snapper? What kind of gear? Like spinning gear? Use conventional gear? Are there only? There's really only one area like type of structure do y'all fish for snapper on, isn't there? Like it's just live bottoms.
Here's the thing with snapper, for me at least. First of all, obviously, you know there's several different types of snapper, but I use the same thing for everything virtually because whether it's snapper, there's also grouper, amberjack, cobia, everything all at once. So,
And you say there's several different kinds of snapper. When I think snapper, all I'm thinking about is red snapper.
okay, is that the snapper you think of?
Yeah,
Gotcha. I use 80 pound, something heavy.
something
We're
heavy.
fishing deep.
So, how much weight are you looking at?
I am pretty standard in my neck of the woods here. I like no lighter than 16 ounces.
16. I know
Yep.
some guys try to get away with as little as possible. So you're
I'm
taking
using
all the
12. You talking about weight?
you're taking
Yeah.
all the guesswork out of it with 16.
I mean, I had no trouble with 12, which where I'm fishing. I know currents are different,
Uh huh.
where you're fishing at, but that bottom, those live bottoms, I've been fishing 12 ounces, takes me straight down and holds it there.
Uh huh.
be interesting
Which,
to see how it does on like a peak moon when it's the tide's stronger. See if it
yeah,
makes any difference.
you'll find out real quick that 12 ounces will get you 100 yards behind the boat sometimes.
What do y'all
Oh,
normally
mine
do?
can
You just
hold
go all the
straight
way to the
down.
bottom and just reel up one time?
I'll let it hit the bottom. Well, it depends how my rig is overall.
Look at
You
Rick.
see this asshole over here? Yeah. Um, yeah, he's being a little diva right now. Anyways, if I have one of those chicken rigs, I let it hit the bottom and stay in the bottom. But if I have a live bait rig, meaning we'll say 5, 6 feet a leader, Carolina rig style, I will reel it off the bottom a little bit. But at the same time, it's kind of hard to do something different if you got three other guys fishing on the boat with you because you do something different and they're doing something different. Now you get into a clusterfuck at some point.
So when let's just get that straight. When you're using like the rig where the sinker's on the bottom and the hooks are up off of the above the sinker, you just
Uh,
let us kind of keep contact with the bottom. But if you're
yep.
using a Carolina rig where the sinker is above the leader, then you kind of reel it up a couple of times to
Yeah,
make
I'll,
sure.
I'll get about a crank or two off the bottom, depending on the current. If it's stout current, I'll let it sit in the bottom. But if it's kind of light,
So what kind of bait are you guys using when you're doing that type of fishing?
when I'm going to target red snapper here soon,
Yeah, what's your favorite bait? Will they just hit anything, or is there a
there's
particular
so
bait y'all
thick
like
out
better than
there right
others?
now, they'll hit anything. But live bait's always preferred.
What about if you just got an old box of cigar minnows that you was catching Spanish and Kings on the day before, and can you just cut those up and
You
use
sure
those?
can, or just put the whole thing on a hole.
Yeah, we was using whole cigar minutes
Yep.
Saturday. Hey, we was talking about snapper, Jr. You got now. Here's what I'm showing on fish rules. You got black snapper, black fin snapper, cabera snapper, snapper dog, gray snapper, which is mangrove, or they're calling a mangrove snapper, a snapper lane, a snapper mahogany, a snapper mutton, a snapper queen, a snapper red, a snapper schoolmaster, a silk snapper, and a vermilion snapper, which is what we call beeliners.
The burp
Yellow,
snapper.
yeah, yellowtail snapper, which is the one like Todd Asher's kids was catching on the boat last year. So that's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13, 14, 15, 16 different breeds of snapper. And I'm not sure how many of those are in the Atlantic. I guess that's all of them because it's showing my area. That's for my area what the limits are on them. So
You always got a chance for everything offshore.
So you guys are pretty limited to fishing for them offshore on a live bottom. Like, you pretty much have to use heavy gear 100% of the time when you're targeting those snapper. Or do y'all fish for them anywhere where it's not as deep and maybe it's not as much structure you'd have to worry about, where you could use lighter gear instead of
not
what did
around
you say
here
use?
because when it's not as
80
deep,
pounds?
you're when you're closer in, the snapper don't really come in that close.
Right.
Like vermilion snapper, beeliners, for example. The closest I've ever caught those have been, I'll say 18, 20 miles roughly.
I imagine like maybe another like coastal area, like say Texas or I don't know, Florida, that maybe you can go target them where they'd be closer and you wouldn't have to use as heavy gear.
Florida, you can, yes.
So
on
what
my
you
bottom
prefer?
fishing,
Go ahead, Wes. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
so on my bottom fishing now, the biggest thing I'm using is I switched over my Talica 10s. I got two Talica 10s, and I bought this one. I used it, and actually I had a Shimano Trevella rod break, and it actually broke at the tip and at the fourth eye at the same time.
Well, they're going to replace it, right? Don't those things have a lifetime warranty?
Yeah, I took it back to Cabela's. They gave me my money back, so I actually ordered a Tsunami. But this reel right here, this is a Speedmaster 10, which actually it kind of looks like a Talica.
Yeah.
So I really like this reel. It's got 28 pounds of drag, which you're never going to use that anyway, because 28 pounds of drag, your ass is going over the boat.
That's right.
Everybody talks about these high drags. These reels has got this high drag, which is good, but 99% of the time you're only using what, Pete? 20 to maybe 40% of the drag at most.
For what? For bottom fishing?
Yeah.
No, I lock her down.
Well,
For areas I fish.
Well, I think what Wes is saying is if you were to catch a fish, let's say I don't know.
Let me say this. Last one I had locked down, I got the rod out of the holder and I almost dumped in the fucking ocean.
Right. Let's say a 50-pound amberjack grabs one.
Down,
you don't want to have it locked down. If you're fishing 28 pounds, 30 pounds of drag, you're not going to be able to hold on for very long unless you're hooked to something.
Yeah, I mean, but everybody does what they want to. But I don't lock nothing down.
I lock an Abu down.
When you grouper fishing, if you give him a couple of feet, sometimes that's all he needs to get up under a rock and it's over. It's done.
Yep. I'll let an amberjack break me off every damn time. I don't give a shit about those things. Grouper, though, like I said, the grouper's won or lost in that first 5 cranks.
I just feel like you could get away with 30-pound mono, 40-pound.
No.
80-pound mono sounds pretty drastic.
I thought I could get away with 60 JR. And some of those fish, if they might rub you across a piece of coral or hit their feet.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Well, I think the big thing, the deal breaker with me is trying to use 12 ounces of weight with 30-pound mono that deep. If you could get away with using less weight.
No, I use 80-pound leader. But my top shot is 60 pound. Of course, every reel I've got out there has got 80-pound braid on it.
Okay, well, 60 is a lot better than 80.
Yeah.
So y'all prefer conventional gear with that? I know Wes just showed me that Speedmaster. Yeah, and I like the choice with the Tsunami rod. I think that Tsunami is a very good bang for your buck rod.
They've definitely stepped it up over the years.
They make great rods.
For something that's fairly inexpensive, that's a pretty dang good rod.
They've been making good rods for, I don't know, at least 15 years. At least. Tsunami, bang for your buck. I mean, but any of those types of rods are graphite, man. Those things, you have to take care of them. They're so easy to break. They're so brittle. You have to be very delicate with them, and that's with any rod that is like a specific niche rod like that. They're going to be delicate. Any rod that I've ever had that is deadly on fish or is really good, like bass fishing, crappie fishing, smallmouth, it doesn't matter what you're fishing for. The more expensive rods are going to be very delicate. You have to take care of them.
What's up, Benji?
Well, it's June. We're coming up on July. I'll be here before you know it. What are you guys planning on targeting in July in the saltwater?
Bottom fish.
That's right. Bottom fish, maybe a dolphin or two. Maybe
I'll tell you what would be strike. That's what I was getting ready to say. That's what would be striking my interest would be some cobia. You know me. I like big fish.
You need to go right now.
You can have Right now is a good time to go.
It is on fire right now for cobia.
Yeah. It's that time. They're so fun to catch. I've always heard that the best bait for, I've never tried to use this bait for cobia, but I've heard the best bait for cobia is actually blue crab, and blue crab is some of the easiest bait you can catch.
Yeah, true. Tell you what, though, here in the last 2 years, I have caught a fair amount of cobia, and there's one thing that I've done different in the last 2 years that has increased my odds of catching them on every trip, actually, and that's using live bait in the bottom. No doubt about it. Live bait, cobia, they prefer it, hands down.
Yeah, every cobia I've ever caught's been on live bait, including the trip I took with Wes. When we went with Clint and Chuck, those were eels. That was still live bait.
Yeah.
I've never caught one on artificial. That'd be fun though to catch them on artificial.
And I have caught on bucktails too. A lot of times you're fishing and one will shock you. He'll show up behind the boat and just kind of sit there, and it's it's a 50-50 chance if he's fired up and you drop the bucktail. I mean, you have to do nothing, just pop in the water and they'll just make a beeline for it and eat it.
Mm-hmm.
So I've caught several on bucktails in the past.
I like to get in everyone's way and throw an anchor because they're usually shallow. You can catch cobia in less than 30 feet of water. So
yeah,
I'd say very easy. It's tempting, and I know it's not the most ethical thing to do. It's very bad etiquette, but if the cobia are around, there's normally a lot of boats in that area. It's kind of a dick move to throw your anchor, but I'm telling you, it works. You throw your anchor and you put some live menhaden on some balloon rigs, and
it absolutely does. I've actually done it several times. I was gonna go cobia fish today, but schedule wise, not work out for me, and so never ended up going.
You just can't find them windows no more, can you?
That's right.
So what are these cobia doing, Pete? You said right now is a good time to go.
They are everywhere right now. They are anywhere from on the beach to 25 miles out right now.
So they're migrating, right? They're coming up from the south, going north, or they come.
I honestly have no idea which way they're going. They're just they hit the beach, they chase bait right now, and they're feasting up, I guess.
I know that June is a good month for them. I know when I fish South Carolina saltwater a lot down around Murrells Inlet, and I think July tends to be about the best month there, but they're probably there now too if they're at Southport.
Yeah.
Pete finally had a big fish put on his boat. Caden had to put him on the boat. Pete had some trouble getting that big fish on the boat?
No. So Keith, I'm sure you've seen the Facebook thing there, but Keith borrowed my boat for the tournament this weekend, and they cashed out pretty good. I'm not going to say how much, but they did good.
That is awesome.
Yep.
I saw some pictures of. I think it was last year.
Fish.
Y'all. I think you were on your boat. I saw some pictures on your Facebook. I want to say it was a memory. It could have been recent, but it was like a lot of fish. Let's see if I can find it.
Is that the one where y'all caught that big tuna?
The tuna was about 2 weeks ago.
While I'm looking for that, I ran across this. Let's see. What is this? Check this out. Got a big belly on her.
Ready? Wow. Be easy with her. Wow, we need to get her back in.
You think she's pregnant?
Oh, yeah.
She's pregnant dead.
Hey, Penny, you hear me? Beat that fish up.
I'm just trying not to hurt her.
I know.
Those fish are. You want to talk about a fight? Those things will fight now. They'll wear your butt out.
JR, that was a hell of a trip at Chesapeake Bay. How many? That first day we caught what? 14.
14, yeah.
And the second day we caught 7 or 8.
I thought it was funny in that video. I said, you think she's pregnant? And Clint was like, yeah, oh yeah.
That fish was 50 pounds easy.
So I guess they're spawning. I guess they're I mean, that was like, what was that? That was June, right? End of June,
Yeah.
Virginia. And
That was the same trip that we decided to start doing this fishing show. Remember, we went live from the room that night and was talking about
Yes.
where we were going and what we were going to do.
yes. So they're obviously spawning up there. She was pregnant, and that was the end of June. So that kind of gives you an idea of their spawning cycle. I don't know how many times they spawn a year, but they obviously were spawning there. But those fish
know
are
what's great
amazing.
about
They
that
look
trip?
like sharks. I've never seen a fish look so much like a darn shark. I mean, that thing, if you see it in the water, you could easily mistake it for a shark.
They'll swim with sharks just for the shade.
So they show up behind the boat, and you're like, "Is that a shark or a cobia?" You got to do a double, triple take. Sometimes you're like, "Oh, yeah, it's a cobia."
They have that's a very small family that they're in. I think that them and the remora might be the only fish in that family. Like, and if you look at a remora, they look a lot like a cobia, and you can easily mistake a small cobia for a remora.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And the remoras, them things just got suction cups on them, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Scott, caught me and Scott Perry caught one. He said, "Watch this." And you know, that Grady White I had, he stuck him to the bottom of the boat. And I had to take a knife and pry his ass up. We couldn't get him up. I said, "Damn, that's sense." He said, they'll attach themselves to sharks.
Yeah, they will. They'll attach yourself. I seen a video of a guy like slapping one on a dude's back, and it like stuck. It'll stick to you. Like if you put him on you, it'll actually it'll leave a hickey. Yeah, I've done it before. You'll have a hickey on your arm. I'm surprised someone hasn't stuck them in other places.
Like Richard Gere put a gerbil up his ass.
But you think, if you think about it, the cobia or the remora rather, I wonder if they're any good to eat. The cobia is excellent to eat, you know.
So they say they're actually pretty good, but a lot of folks, you know, myself included, don't care to keep something that has a small little, strip of fillet. That's it.
It's so funny that people are so like, I know guys that won't eat white perch because they say they're nasty because
I've heard good.
They put white perch in bait tanks because they eat like crap because they'll eat anything, you know. So they're nasty because they'll eat any, even though they're a carnivorous fish. It's not like a carp where they're just a filter feeder nasty. They're nasty because they'll eat literally anything. But yet saltwater fish are the same way. Like there is nothing a cobia won't eat. I mean, they'll eat anything from cut mullet. Like, you know, I've always heard that their favorite food is crab, but they're not going to turn their nose up at anything.
Yeah. They call cobia the catfish of the ocean. So, you know,
they kind of favor it. It's like you took a catfish and a shark and you just mix them. That's what the cobia is.
Scott Perry just put on here cedar plugs for the win. And I think my buddy Josh made a statement last year. We were talking about fishing in cedar plugs. He said, "Wes," he said, "I don't care what you're trolling, how many rods you're trolling, always have a cedar plug in your spread." He said, "There's nothing." He said, "There's not a pelagic fish out there that won't hit a cedar plug. Nothing out there won't hit it."
I'll tell you what, you won't have any trouble catching bait on your way offshore because this time of year is when they really get in those big pods just right off the beach.
Oh, and David Mercer called it. He throwed a net today, and he's got a 100-gallon extreme bait tank, and he couldn't even get all the bait in the tank. It was flopping out of the tank and on the boat.
Isn't that amazing? When bait is at its most plentiful and easiest to catch, the fishing sucks in that area. That's just nature for you. Because if it weren't that way, then there wouldn't be any bait. You know, all the predatory fish would be there eating them all.
I don't know. The fishing sucks, or you know, a lot of folks just don't know or can't quite get out there right now.
Right now, what's out there feeding on these giant menhaden? Like
Kings,
literally,
cobia, shark.
Well, yeah, but there's not that many. Of course, there are shark, but
I think the tournament last week, a lot of the top 20 fish were caught on the beach. They're there.
What tournament?
The Jollymon, the King tournament.
Oh, the King. Oh, okay, you're talking about 5-pound kings.
Yeah,
they ain't eating that many. They're not eating that many.
45-pound kings.
I'd like to see the weigh-in. These guys, the 45 pounders weren't caught right off the beach. I bet.
Yes, they were.
Were they?
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yep. I'll tell you what, the bait is so thick out there right now. I bet you could jump in and catch them in your shirt. You guys see that video?
Yeah, that's awesome.
You don't need a net. Who needs a net?
That's not crazy.
What kind
Yeah.
of bait was that?
I don't know. I really didn't look that closely, but it definitely wasn't peanut bunker. Wasn't mullet.
Nope.
I don't know. That was some weird foreign bait.
Oh, hey, Pete, let me show you what I was talking about. I bought this bait. I bought one that's a little bit bigger than this one at Merle's Inlet Outpost, and it was a cobalt color, blue and white. I took this bait, and it came rigged with a hook like this.
Uh-huh.
So what I did was, when me and Kenny was out there fishing, I said, I bought it. I said, fuck it, but it's not already rigged for ballyhoo because, you know, it's got the rubber on it. They didn't have the wire in it. So what I did, see this hole right here where through the eye of the hook?
Yeah. Yeah.
I took a piece of wire and made an L, bent it, and pushed the wire up through the hook right here, or backwards right here. So it came up about this high, but I left a piece bent and put it out here, up back here toward the wire. And then I put a rubber band around it, just wrapped it, kept wrapping it over and over and over till it, you know, the wire stayed there. So I rigged my ballyhoo so I could rig a ballyhoo up on this. I had running a horse ballyhoo. You know, I bought them. You can only buy them 2 at a time.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm going to try 2. And that's the 2. That's the big wahoo we lost and the wahoo we got to the boat. So
nice.
I don't know if that's if I said, I don't know if it'll work. It probably wouldn't work high speed trolling, but you know, 8 miles an hour.
Yeah.
It worked like a charm. So.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Awesome. Was it that color right there, the pink?
No, it was a cobalt. I got this one. Actually, somebody had returned this one here to Bass Pro, or Cabela's. They changed their name to Bass Pro Shops here in Greenville. Now they're Bass Pro Shops. But I went out there to take that rod back, and this one was actually hanging on the shelf, and it was regularly like $48, like $50-something, and they had it on sale for $13 because it was returned. Damn. Somebody bought it online, so I went ahead and bought it.
Damn, goes to show how much those actually cost to make. You know.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
But where'd Junior go?
I don't know. He hopped off, I think. Get Scott Perry on here. We want to talk about RC cars.
I'm sitting here talking. I'm wondering why y'all are ignoring me. Like I wasn't even on the stream.
I didn't do that. I did that
because I wanted to run and grab that. I had that on top of the fridge. You showed yours, and I was like, hey, I got one of those.
Yeah.
That was smart. You told me about that yesterday, how you ran that. You said some wire up through there, and then you brought it out so it would be like a pin for your ballyhoo.
Yeah, I just took I took a piece of wire and bent it on an L and run it up through the rubber to kind of help stabilize it. And then I took a rubber band and just kept going around the pin, you know, round and round this way and this way and this way, and got it pretty stable. And then I put my ballyhoo on it, put it up through his nose, and wrapped it again with a rubber band.
So what size single strand did you use? Was it Malin?
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute, I'll show you.
Okay. I'll tell you what's hard to do is rig these double hooks on a ballyhoo. I was like, screw that.
Right there.
I'm not even gonna do that. Yeah, the Malin, what is it, 90 pounds?
Number 9, I guess.
No, 108, number 9. That's right.
Number 9. Yeah.
What pound is that?
109.
Okay, 109. That's some pretty stout stuff, buddy. You must be going after some monster wahoo with that.
No, actually, the 109 is not bad. That other wire I bought because I thought I needed to be real heavy. What was it, Pete? It was like 180 pounds. You had to have had to fucking have a fucking vice grips to bend it.
I don't think you need to use anything over 90.
The number 9 is standard for wahoo. That's what everyone uses.
Number 9 is 108 pound.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what would be the 90 pound?
Number 8.
Number 8. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I always used.
Scott Perry, I know you're watching. Come on here.
Get Scott on here. We want to talk about these Hot Wheel cars, you know, whatever he's call them. Fancy.
Yeah, Scott got into Hot Wheels and damn, JR got into throwing a fucking bag of beans at a damn board there on the 45-degree angle.
Yes, right.
Yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. I wanted to practice and get good enough where I could compete with those guys at work, and I've gotten where I can compete with them. So yeah, I'm good on that.
So you ready to start fishing again?
Mm-hmm.
Well, not this weekend, but next weekend, weather permitting. We're gonna get an Airbnb, so you can come stay with us. It's gonna be a 4-room house. I'm thinking about go ahead and reserving it anyway. And like I said, if it's real bad, yeah, we can always go out there and Yeah, we can go shark fishing if we have to, but I'm going. But
You-
plan to go offshore, and I need somebody to video for me. I cannot video and help these people I'm taking offshore drive the
You
boat,
can't-
and help them do rods, and try to video. It's just not working.
Yeah, but you can't go out there catching sharks.
You're listening to the Real Fisherman Podcast. Be sure to like and follow on Facebook, and be sure to share it with a buddy.
You need some help?
No.
You got it?
Damn, way to interrupt.
You're listening to the Real.
My bad. Sorry, I about done it again. I saw the thumbnail on that video, and it was just me holding that wahoo, and I thought it was just going to be a quick shot of me. I didn't know it was going to be that whole intro thing. My bad. Yeah, you can't catch those near shore. That's the only bad part. I don't know why. Why is things like that? Why does everything good have to be
Can't
so
like
hard?
South Florida, right? Where you can just catch anything like within sight of land.
Yeah, why can't it be like Hawaii? Why can't we just be an island in the middle of the ocean? And
Well, think about this: if it was like that, just like anything else, there would be 5,000 boats out there.
You're right.
So
Here's the funny thing, though. Here's the funny thing: in Florida, when it gets about 2 or 3 foot seas, them boys down there are afraid to fish. But that's like everyday shit in our neck of the woods.
Yeah, and most of them got bay boats, or just a little bit up, maybe a little bit bigger. They don't really have a lot of what you'd call true offshore boats in South Florida.
Yeah, we got some little bitty waves down there. So you mentioned when you having a trouble when not wanting to go fishing when there's 5,000 boats out there. What are some of the things that you guys do? It being summertime, especially on lakes, not necessarily saltwater fishing because you can go offshore and get away from people most of the time, but like on lakes when the lakes overran with pleasure boaters, and it seems like it just gets more and more and more every year. And
be there. The main clue, JR, be there at daylight, fish till about 10 o'clock, and go home.
I agree. I think that's probably about the best tactic is to get out on the water at like 5:30 and be off the water by 11 o'clock. That's probably about your best tactic.
For me, I'd rather paint my kitchen with Q-tips than go fishing.
Really? So you don't think that there's a way that you can, like, even if the fish, because I know sometimes, especially when it comes to catfish, you have what they call a time of day bite with catfish, and they bite better in the afternoon. Let's say like sometimes the bite could be the best at say 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That's like the worst time to be out there. But let's say that's the best fishing time. Is there nothing that you could think to do to get away from all that?
Well, it's just aggravating because the places that these fish would hold at. Let's say you get on a school of fish and you're out there fishing, having a great time, catching a lot of fish, and all of a sudden, here comes a jet ski, here comes a pleasure boater, here comes a tuber, and now you're rocking. Like you're out there in the ocean.
Exactly. So, like this time of year, the fish could be on like the main channel ledge, and that's going to be impossible, especially if you're trying to troll, if you're trying to anchor. It would be suicide to anchor on the main channel ledge at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Lake Wiley or Lake Norman.
So to give you an example, 2 weeks back, the tournament I fished on Saturday on Baden Lake, I had to be strategic with where I fished and how I fished because knowing at a certain time the traffic would be out on a pretty day. And so in the first half of the day, or should I say the first couple hours, I went to the river. And then the second half of the day, I went towards the main lake. And then once the pleasure boater showed up, I had to tuck into a creek or kind of sort of in a little pocket just to stay away from everyone. And it was ridiculous.
And I bet the bite wasn't too good in that little pocket.
It was actually okay, but they were small fish.
Scott said there were 0 boats at Hartwell Sunday. That's because you chose to go fishing in a lightning and hurricane storm.
Hartwell, I think, is so damn big, you can just get away from anywhere. You can go somewhere and just be away from.
The good thing about catfish, like we were talking about cobia earlier and how awesome they were. But it's like 100 degrees outside right now. The best time to fish for cobia is like 10 o'clock in the morning and 11 o'clock all the way up till like afternoon until the sun, because you don't want to be blinded by the sun. So like, I don't know. What do you think?
If you're sight fishing for them, if you're trying to see them and sight cast to them, the more daylight you have, the brighter.
Sight cast, or if you're targeting them on the surface.
So I've actually, shocker here, I have done better with cobia in the middle of the afternoon.
Up until what time?
up until say 3-4 p.m.
Yeah, I think that's about your limit. But the good thing about catfish are you can target them at night. You can't target cobia at night.
Now, my buddy, the guy that we fished with in Chesapeake Bay last year, Clinton Lassard, Clint swore up and down that you cannot catch a cobia trolling. They will not hit nothing trolling.
And
Bullshit.
You proved him wrong, didn't
Bullshit.
you?
Bullshit.
Tell this story, Wes. This is a good one.
So me and Chuck, I mean, we had done caught shit, I don't know, 10 or 12 cobia. And JR went up in the tower to cast some. So, I'd put a line out and I said, and Chuck said, Clint hollered down there, get that fucking line in. You're not going to catch nothing trolling for cobia. And I hollered back up at him. I said, listen, I said, you drive the goddamn boat and let me worry about what's going on down here. I mean, I ain't hurting nothing trolling this fucking plug. It ain't hurting nothing. So he turns around, keep trolling. There wasn't no more time I got that out of my mouth. That son of a bitch took off screaming. And Chuck started laughing and hollered, Clint, fish on. So we got it to the boat. And it wasn't but like, what, a 15, 20 pound. He wasn't that big.
Yeah, but you still did it, though. And I think you did it twice.
Yeah, we did it twice. We had another hook up and lost it. But
yeah, that's right.
Chuck looked over there. He said, dude, he is madder than hell right now. He said, he is so fucking mad he can't stand it right now.
Yeah.
So, but me and Lori last year, before those bugs, what time of year is it, Pete, that those bugs come in there? Trying to remember what time it was. It was during the summer, and we were like 3 miles out. We had just passed the sea buoy going out a little river, and those fucking bugs was tearing our ass up, dude.
Them bugs are always out there, man. They're always out there 24/7. He's got to be out there when a day where there's no wind whatsoever,
Yeah, and it was pretty much flat. But anyway, I thought we got away. We got away from them for about 30 minutes before they came back, but there was a cobia kept following the boat. And I was like, damn, I'd pitch a cigar man out there to him, tied another one, a smaller hook on, pitched a piece of squid out there to him, cut up a ballyhoo head, and he would not touch nothing. So I told her, I said, listen, we're just going to troll some because we ain't doing nothing with this bait anyway. So I went to put a DTX minnow out there, and I said, there he is. She said, there's that fish again. He swam back around. And I told her, I said, all right, just go ahead and put the boat in gear. So she put the boat in gear, and as soon as the boat started moving and that DTX minnow started his little wobble, he nailed this shit out of it. So I told Laura, I said, come back here and fight this fish. She said, did he bite it? I said, yeah, you own. So that was about a 12-pound cobia, but that was a big deal to her. But he would not touch nothing until he seen that bait moving, like it was swimming, and I guess that just irritated the shit out of him. He nailed the shit out of it.
Now, Wes, I've been hearing that you might be getting your captain's license. I mean, you might as well already be a captain. I mean, you take people fishing all the time, but Peter, have you done any trips this year or this?
I have not done any saltwater. I've actually had 3 booked and 3 cancellations due to weather. So I'm kind of.
So let me ask you a question. Are you like all the other guides when it comes to, let's say you take some clients out and you guys are, let's say you say, hey guys, be here at 6 a.m. You guys take off, and let's say you're limited out on fish. Let's say you're going after snapper and grouper, and you caught your limit by 9 a.m. Are you coming back? Are you done?
We're going plan B, C, and D after that.
Even if you've already caught your limit?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
Good. I like that, because some guides, especially like freshwater guides, in the striper industry, those guys, a lot of them will take their clients out. If they limit out by 8 o'clock in the morning,
they're done. Yeah,
they're done.
So here's the thing,
I don't
though.
like that. I don't feel like I'm getting my money's worth.
It sucks, but I understand it. And the main reason why is, number one, first of all, in the freshwater, you don't have many options. It's striper, catfish, and that's practically about it.
Bullshit. We're going on a boat ride. I paid for a whole day of fishing.
You're right.
And I want to go on. Let's go on a boat ride. I caught my limit. Let's ride around. Show me some stuff. Let's go mark some fish. Tell me what's up. Maybe stop at a restaurant there on the lake. Get us a burger.
Damn right.
It's going to be a day. I paid for a day. I want a day.
Damn right. Yep. Number 2 is, a lot of these lakes like Murray, I think is a prime example of this rule that you speak of here, or these guys are doing that is, once you get your limit, you must stop fishing, is what they say. So So that's why they kind of quit. But again, I'd be pissed off if, let's say, I fish all day or pay for an all day trip, $600, $800, and we're done by 9 o'clock and we're back at the dock. Yeah, that kind of really pissed me off there.
Another thing that clients can do is, instead of, let's say there's 4 people or 3 people, that's typically about the most, right? About 3 people. Let's say that the limit is 5 fish per person. Well, let's say this guy is catching all the fish. I mean, he could get, 10 of the 15 fish limit. I would tell my buddies, hey, listen, you're going to catch your 5 and that's it. After that, it's catch and release. We want our 5. You know what I mean? Instead of their catching going toward my limit, because if we were all fishing like individually, like if we were trout fishing, I'm responsible for my stringer. Like, you can't put your fish, I can't catch fish and put them on your stringer. You're responsible for it.
Yeah.
You're only allowed to have, 7 per day. So yeah, if you get caught with any more than that, then you're in trouble. But it's not like that on a boat. Like, you can put it toward other people's limit on a boat, but you can't. Yeah. But yeah, so I don't want anybody putting their fish toward my limit. I want to catch those fish.
So one problem we run into is this, on these charters is, number one. So I hadn't really been able to run a lot of saltwater charters in the last couple of years, plain simple. But one thing that there is a problem with, and I make it very clear from the get-go, is this. All right. Let's say I got 4 people on the boat. Normally, most of my trips it's all family or all close friends, whatever have you. But occasionally I consider about throwing a walk-on trip. Basically, 4 people, they pay their fair share of the trip. They don't know each other, so it's 4 random folks. I make it very clear that there's a fish box. We divide everything up equally. If, let's say, guy number A catches 3 limits, it's going to be divided up amongst 4 people, okay? Let's just say that one grouper is caught. Everyone's going home with grouper. Let's say we get 2 mahi caught. Everyone's going home with mahi.
Yeah.
So there's no favoritism. I caught more fish than you, kind of thing. So that's one thing that you got to kind of put your foot down right away with.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, meatheads. All the saltwater guys are just a bunch of meat fishermen. Like, let's go to some comments, guys. We been getting any comments? Keith said, I don't know what Keith was talking about. He said, yes, they were right outside the inlet of
that was your comment about no kings on the beach.
Oh, no kings on the beach. I was saying no big king, no smokers on the beach.
They're lagging behind this year. They're on the beach big time.
Okay.
Well, I was trying to get Mercer out there, man, but Mercer's kind of too pinned up with doing his own thing. So,
what is G-Town?
Georgetown.
Oh, okay. Damn, that's way south. Y'all was way down
way
there?
south.
Got to go where the fish are, man.
Oh, we're finding out stuff every day here.
I have an amazing network of friends when it comes to king fishing. Like, it's a very tight knit group. My network is awesome when it comes to kings. You can go anywhere to catch kings, but a lot of times it's like one little area may have bigger fish, So for a tournament, you'd run way down south. Or if you want numbers, perhaps fish off Oak Island, there might be a big fish thrown in there, so on and so forth. Backtracking a little bit. So what Keith did not tell you is also on Friday, the day before the tournament, they caught a 45-pound cobia and I think another 30-pound cobia on my boat the day before as well. Keith don't post a lot of photos on Facebook, as I'm sure you've noticed by now. He kind of keeps it to himself.
Smart. Did you send Perry an invite?
I did.
What, Perry? Scott, where you at, bro?
Perry,
Scott's moody. He's got bitch in him. Well,
damn.
So I don't think I really want to get on there today. And then you beg him to come on. He won't come on. And then if you don't invite his ass, he'll just pop the fuck up.
Like last 10 minits, always, right?
I'm gonna take that little sound bite from this live stream. What you just said, I'm gonna use that on like all kinds of stuff.
So, all right. So let's talk about this here real quick, since we're on a little downfall here. Overnight trip. Shall we plan it? Should we do it?
Oh.
I got my schedule for July.
I believe, Pete, I was thinking about this that you say that the other day when we were out there, when me and Kenny was out there fishing. we could do an overnight trip. And there again, I know they move in and out, but that whole area, and I'm not patting myself on the back, but that whole area, I found that live bottom out there, dude. There's just so many fucking fish out there. I mean, I could get a 300 foot of rope.
So would that be a good
area right there?
I would
There you
absolutely
go.
game just to jump on your boat for the overnight trip. No doubt about it. I mean,
How
I could do
deep is it there?
160 foot.
In
Well,
August,
you're going to need about 800 foot of rope for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
You gotta. If I'm going to stay the night out there, I want at least a 4-to-1 ratio on the anchor road.
Why
I'm not
that
going
much?
out there like a Guggen and getting killed like the Minnesota Vikings dude did. I want,
Damn.
if I'm going to do it, I'm going to
Well,
be
here's the thing,
very
though.
safe.
If I'm going to go, it's going to be in the right day. I'm not going to go just because we're going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
weather's
going to be
gotta
all of that, of course. We're going to have the flares. We're going to have the EPIR. We're going to make sure the life vest. We're going to make sure everybody knows
I've
where all
got
the safety
EPIRs and
equipment are.
flares and radios, and
We need all that, and
we
we need
know that shit works too now.
we need plenty adequate anchor road, and just in case something could happen, a storm could pop up and come through. Well, the ocean could pick up, and we want enough anchor road out there to where we're not going to die.
Oh,
Pete, look at these two pictures. This
he
first
changed
one,
subject.
this is where we got the triggerfish and the beeliners.
Oh yeah, I've seen all those
Look
photos
how
on
big
Facebook.
that is, dude.
I see
I
them.
mean, they were hitting it. My weight never hit the bottom. We were catching fish. Never hit the bottom.
Wow.
You're in a good spot, man. I'd say 160 foot is pretty good.
Yeah.
Usually your groupers stack up a lot more in that 160, 200 foot range in July and August.
Yeah.
My buddies Alan and Lacey went on Alan's bachelor party trip and caught some. They caught some Spanish. They really weren't wanting to target the Spanish. They were trying to target some kings. They struck out on the kings. I think they hooked up a couple of times and ended up losing them. And they caught a couple Spanish. And anyways, they got tired of. They caught a bunch of little undersized black bass, and they got tired of fooling with all that crap. So they were like, you know what? Let's shark fish. So they pulled a West Rose and they shark fished. And they ended up catching a bunch of black tips, man. And they brought a couple big black tips home, cleaned them, and they ate them today. I think they cooked them on the grill. They seasoned them real good, cooked them on the grill. Said it was so damn good. Very delicious. Very good fish. I've eaten black tip. You guys eaten black tip? It is good. It's kind of like a pork chop. It's not tough like a pork chop, but it's kind of got that grainy texture to the fish meat. It's a very good, tasty fish.
I've actually been given Mako before, and I've tried Mako.
Now, it's not Mako. Mako's
I'll be honest with you. I was not a
definitely
fan of Mako. I was not a fan of Mako at all.
It's got a weird. It's kind of got a. It's a acquired taste.
Cobia is the pork chop of the sea when it comes to eating.
Yeah.
Oh, cobia is like delicious. Now, as far as
Man,
how
we're doing it this summer, I'm telling you, it's going to happen July, August. We'll make it happen.
the night trip, overnight
Oh
trip.
yeah.
Okay.
We'll leave at noon and come back noon.
All right. Who's got the best light? Because I got one of those little $30 eBay green lights. I used to have a big 4-foot Hydroglow, but I gave it away.
I've got a 24-inch the LED, what would they call them?
Hydroglow.
Hydroglow. I've got a 24.
Okay. We need a good light. That's a good light, but
I'll tell you what
inches.
we can do. I'll tell you what we can do. When it comes down to it, by then I should have my boat back with all lithium, and I'll bring a damn lithium battery with us.
Oh, I'm gonna have lithium batteries on my boat too.
There you go. We need that. Probably need a couple.
Well, I'm gonna have 3 put on my trolling motor.
We need to be out there, anchored up, ready to set up shop. Like,
well, I'll tell you right
before
now.
it gets
I'll tell you
dark.
this: if you're gonna be out there all night, you got lithium batteries. We don't need no damn rope. We're good.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. The trolling motor. Yeah, I mean,
What you mean we don't need no rope?
hey Jr.
Drift?
No, listen.
Spotlock.
Hey, Brian Lovegood told me. He said, Wes. He said the same setup that I'm gonna put on your boat. About 2 months ago, I put on a 36-foot yellowfin, 112-volt trolling motor, 3 12-volt 50 AH lithium batteries, ionic. And he said he bottom fished 2 trips, ran that thing over 9 hours, and still had 40% of the battery left.
Well, I can
One
tell you
charge.
right now, that is not going to cut it. If we go to the Gulf Stream, if we
Yeah.
go to the Gulf Stream, there is no amount of lithium batteries that's going to keep us spot locked all night long. It's just not going to happen. Trust me.
So in the summertime, the current is a little less, but yes, that could change. Huh? We got an important question right here that someone wants answered here by Rich. What's the best color combos for Macahoos? I got your answer, Rich. You still there?
Hey, let me guess.
Guess.
Oh, blue and white. No, close. Pink.
No.
Pink.
Pink's a good one.
Oh, it's not your favorite though.
You know,
Okay,
it's
I give
actually
Red and
one of my
black.
favorites for Kings.
Red and black.
No,
Red and black.
Purple and blue.
no.
Oh, okay. All right, I give up.
Rich, if you're there, some of my favorite combos that I have a shit ton of. Actually, I do know the guy, Big Nick, personally, so I do use his product a lot. And there's 3 colors that I use all the time. I love pink on pink. I love blue on blue, i.e., like a blue head or a purple head, followed by like a.
I just said
blue.
purple, and you was like, nah.
Kind of like a darkish blue. I wouldn't even call it purple.
Okay.
Like a dark blue, like a Duke blue. There you go. A Duke blue on like a light blue flying fish color. And my other favorite is a orange on Mylar. Orange Mylar. 3 favorites. I've not had a lot of luck with purple. I'll be honest with you. Purple don't seem very good. Chartreuse or green is okay, but it's not one of my favorites.
Okay, so back to this trip.
Pink on pink is a must, no doubt about it.
You're talking me, Wes, and you, and that's it.
I'll get one more for sure.
Scott Perry.
If he's not gonna be a bitch about it,
He's been a bitch.
he's already talking about being in the middle, sleeping in the middle there. So I don't know.
Hey, I like Benji's comment here. Listen to that. Look at there.
Damn.
Let's see.
Scott's gonna be too busy with his RC cars. I don't know.
He's talking about just make sure we have a fire extinguisher because those lithiums could catch on fire.
Yep.
Yep. That would be a heck of a trip, man. We'll have to leave the bourbon at home, Scott. No bourbon.
Hold on, actually, I do think I got one of those Macahoos right here. Hang tight.
We can bring bourbon, but we have to leave it on land. We have to leave it in the truck or something. I don't know if
Hey
we're gonna
guys,
be getting...
I was thinking too, if we do this overnight trip, JR, I think one of us, and I'm sure it's, this is, y'all probably know this, but I would say at least one of us needs to be up at all times. No.
Oh, well, 100%. 100%. Yes, absolutely.
See this? I was doing this rigging earlier, actually. Rich.
That's my one.
So that's blue on like a blue silver right there. One of my favorites. Looks like a flying fish in my eyes. But yeah, that's a good color right there. Again, pink on pink and an orange Mylar.
So is your Hydroglow, is it LED or is it fluorescent bulb?
No, it's LED.
LED. Okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if you accidentally look at it, if you got it out in the water,
yeah.
The first night I used it, I turned it on. I was looking at it, and it blinded the shit out of me.
That's awesome. That's what you want. Yeah. So it's a name brand Hydroglow.
It's a Hydroglow. That's who made it, Hydroglow.
Well, there's a lot of off-brand Hydroglows.
No, it is a true Hydroglow. I gave like $300 for that light.
Oh yeah, that's what definitely go find that thing tomorrow, so you'll know you got it.
Oh, it's in my building.
Okay.
Cool. Make sure it works.
Yeah. Make sure it works, and I'll bring my little crappy light just in case we have to have a backup.
Pete, if we stayed out there that long, if them bottom fishes out there like they usually are, hell, we could fill the box up. Us 4 out, we could fill that box up in 2 or 3 hours. It'd be over.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But it's going to be awesome. Just looking at the fish swim by under that light out there in that clear blue water. Like
the craziest thing I've ever seen offshore. I was coming in with Kelly Morgan 3 years ago, and it was getting dark, and it was so weird because Kelly said, "Wes, the best way to explain it to you is," he said, "there's no light pollution out here," and I said, "No what?"
Oh yeah,
He said there's
absolutely.
no light pollution. He said
Mhm.
it's just looking up at the sky. You could see stars. It's like you could see a million stars.
That's one of the things they say about the Frying Pan Tower when you go, even though it's only 35 miles off the land, it's
Yeah.
still a lot less light pollution than there are on land. And they said the
That's
stars are
about
absolutely amazing out there.
That's about the only thing I enjoy about night flying over the ocean is you look out the window and you see nothing but stars, the Milky Way, the galaxy, all
I
that.
forget we're talking to a
UFOs,
pilot
shooting
here. Here we
stars.
are talking about the stars and how
Yeah.
beautiful they are. And we got a freaking guy that goes up 37,000 feet every day and sees this crap.
Yeah, you know,
Now Scott says you need a blue light and salt. I mean, my light.
he's yanking your damn chain.
That's the truth. It does penetrate more layers of the water column with the blue light in the clearer water. Now a green light
I ain't
will
never seen a
penetrate.
blue light. Didn't know
They'll
they made-
penetrate more in a freshwater impoundment, but offshore, the blue light definitely does better. But a green doesn't mean a green light won't work or a white light. Any light will work. But if you want to get technical, yeah, blue light is the best one offshore.
Now, Pete, when are you coming to Greenville? Or when you coming to Greenwood?
I actually came, I dropped off my boat to JC last week, actually.
Oh, okay. I thought you was
I,
going to holler
I
at me.
went a week early because of my canceled charter. So I was like, you know what? Might as well do it. So I dropped her off.
I thought you was going to holler at me.
I was going to, but it was literally the night before. I was like, you know what, JC, you free? He's like, yeah, go ahead and pull up my shop there. So I went ahead and did that. But you don't live close to JC, though, do you? I feel like it's about an hour out, right?
No, I'm about 30 minutes from JC, I think.
Are you? Gotcha.
Another thing we need to make sure we bring is a GoPro. We definitely want some underwater footage out there with around that light. That's going to be absolutely amazing.
Now, what
I would like
what
to get one
batteries
of those
did you go with, Pete? Oh, I'm sorry, Gerald.
Ionic.
Ionic.
Yeah,
He went with
That's fine.
Ionic. But yeah, I want to get one of those those GoPro like Chuck had Wes when we were on that Kobe. Remember those guys that were filming had that big like a bubble, like a what do you call it, like a dome, and the GoPro went inside of it. That's awesome. I mean, think of the like half out of the water, half under the water shots that you could get with that apparatus. How awesome that would be. That would be amazing.
So when are y'all wanting to do this? In June or July or August?
It's, naturally you try the first time and you can't because, you get blown out. But traditionally, man, August is usually the best as far as weather. So, I mean, July, August, it don't matter really. Try whenever you can.
Another thing is you think that, because I'm thinking in my mind, because I've never done that. I've never been offshore and at night and put a light out in the water. I've been coming back from offshore fishing and it gotten dark on our way back in, but I've never stopped out there and put a light in the water just to see what it looks like. And you're assuming that it's like going to be blue, but it's not. Like the sun and everything is what makes it look blue. It's just gonna look like clear water, I guess.
Hey, that light won't draw up like big sharks and shit to your boat, will it?
It brings
I'm
in the
sure.
bait,
Yeah.
brings in
Everything.
the shark and everything else. Yeah.
Brings in everything. Yeah. So we
You
should
know what else
probably
we gotta
limit the blood and everything that we're probably don't need to be doing a whole lot of chumming. I don't know. I have no idea.
What else you gotta bring is a good bottle of bourbon.
Is a good bottle of what?
A good bottle of bourbon.
Oh Lord. I mean, I'd love to have some, a fifth among 4 people, we'll be fine with that.
Scott Perry said, bring a life raft, 2 cartons of Barbarels, and some tweets.
I gave I had one of those duffel bags. I forget what they're called, but you just throw them in the ocean and the giant CO2 goes off and you have a hexagonal life raft with a beacon on it and all that stuff. It wouldn't be a bad idea to take something like that, I mean, at least like a unicorn float or something, just in case, I mean, I know that life preservers are lifesavers, but with the life preserver, you're just in the water, just a dangling, looking like a big old piece of bait.
Hey, we could take you. Don't you have electric reels, Pete?
I do not.
Well, we could go. You got an 80 wide, don't you?
I do. I got 2.
Well, we could take one of them out there 1,500 feet, 1,500 feet, and deep drop for a couple hours.
Definitely do it.
Ooh, wow. We can't
Take
be
turns
anchoring up.
cranking.
We definitely ain't anchoring up no 1,500 feet.
That trolling motor, Junior, trolling motor.
Yeah, we'll have to run the trolling motor batteries dead on that and anchor up in like no more than 150 to 200 feet, I guess.
Yeah.
If we're gonna anchor up, my I don't know. My suggestion would be buy some kind of cheap anchor that we think will hold, and a bunch of cheap ass rope. And when we
And
get
just
done,
cut it.
that shit.
I'm telling you, I've anchored up in the Gulf Stream one time, and I told myself it's the last time I'll ever do that. That was bad.
Well, I seen a big old boat. It was, I'm guessing it was a guide boat. It was probably 38 foot, maybe 40 foot. And where I was bottom fishing at, they were about a little like maybe half a mile east of me, not quite half a mile, but they had an anchor out. And I could see they had an anchor out, and I'm pretty sure they didn't have no 800 or 900 feet anchor.
It was a pretty day. No,
Yeah,
no wind, no current. So that makes a big difference, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure they had more than adequate amount of anchor road. They may not have had that amount out, but they had it. So
Hey,
if an
John
emergency
Long-
situation came up and they had to anchor, they would have let more road out.
Yeah.
Hey, the porn star is watching, and I
Who's
sent
that?
him a message. I sent him a message to call me today, but he didn't call me. It hurt my feelings. But anyway, John, where is Michael Jordan at? I haven't heard nothing about him in the tournament.
I haven't either, actually.
Yeah, and I was wanting to see if John would tell me.
I don't even see John on here. Is he on here?
Yeah, he's on here.
I don't see a lot of comments at all. It's whatever.
Oh.
I wonder.
There it is. All right. It's a little lag behind.
Would we be able to take any live bait with us? Like if we were to go catch some bait, on our way out or whatever, would we have a way to keep them alive? Like whose boat would we be taking, Wes's or yours, Pete?
It's all, I'd say Wes's boat may be a little better with the biggest thing, the troll motor. He's got that on board.
Mm-hmm.
That's the golden ticket right there.
You got a bait tank made on your boat, don't you, Wes?
Yes.
Yeah, I got a 40-gallon in my transom.
Okay. Yeah. So
how many times have you been on my boat?
That could keep. I'm speaking more in terms of the audience here.
Oh.
But yeah, you could definitely keep some live bait on that boat.
Yeah. But what if we put the lights out and we jig our own live bait?
There you go.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
But yeah, never leave without bait already. That's my rule.
Yeah. I mean, we at least bring us some chicken.
That's right. Hey, John, any luck the last 2 days of fishing? Do say. Anything other than getting struck by lightning almost?
While we're waiting on John's response, Scott Perry, you going to give us a thumbs up or down on the trip?
All right, while we're waiting, JR, I'm going to play this little clip. We're talking about bad weather, what happens when you get caught in bad weather. See if you remember this, JR.
Okay.
I come out west, heading west toward the channel. I was just going to try to get out there and fish the channel down while I was here, but hell, by the time I get out there, it's just brutal out here. I'm fixing to go put the boat on the trailer and we'll head up to Morley's. This is the roughest I've ever been out here that I've been in since I've been coming up here.
Thanks for stopping by, guys. Make sure you hit that like button if you don't mind, and let's talk fishing. Here we go.
That ain't the one I thought it was. I thought the one where you could see
I
the
did
boat
the same
rocking.
thing. You see the thumbnail and you think it's something, and then you click on it and it's something totally different. Yeah.
We got the shit beat out of us. Gerald, when I was trying to figure out how that water got up in my cabin,
Yeah.
that was when that big old wall of water come over the front and hit the back. And then when we dove again,
Yeah.
come back up and went. That's how it got, because that shit froze up in there, and I had to wait like a week before I could get it out. It was a solid block of ice.
Mm. Did you see the comment, Pete? The question.
Yeah,
there?
I got it.
What is he talking
Today
about? We
was
laid
one
today.
Today was an off day, basically.
Oh, we laid off. Okay.
You can choose the days you fish. How many days are you allowed to fish, Pete?
I think it's 3. Don't get me wrong. John can probably tell me, but I believe it's 3.
And John, have you heard anything about Michael Jordan? Have they caught any fish? I haven't heard his name mentioned. I've been watching it live here and there when I get a chance, but I haven't heard nothing mentioned about him. While we wait,
John said to send him an invite. You know what? I can copy paste this and
You got
do
it?
that.
Okay.
go ahead, JR. Send him an invite. I'm gonna play this one.
Pete said he's got
remember
it.
this. Let's see.
Catch
Got doubles, baby.
Wesley Rose. Woo!
He hit that so much like he stole some, didn't he? Yeah, man. Love it.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
Homeboy! AJ! AJ for days! Woo! Woo! Yeah!
Scott Perry, where's your skunk at?
Woo! Woo!
Another one bites the dust, baby. Woo! Way ahead of you, grasshopper.
Yo, you need to save that damn video of him scrubbing the damn boat because that never fucking happens. He damn hires people to clean his boat. He hires people to clean his fish.
It's funny. I spent
Hey,
10
know how people clean my
I
fish.
spent 10 years
right,
trying to catch those damn fish like that, and Wes goes out there and makes it happen in a day. It's ridiculous.
No, listen, there again, JR, I appreciate you bragging on me, but honestly, I'll give credit where credit's due. Pete and Keith really showed me a lot. Pete's the first person I ever watched rig a ballyhoo. He showed me how to do it as far as popping his eyes out, cutting his beak, breaking his back, running the shit out of him.
That's right.
But,
you're going. They've probably told 1 million people everything they've told you, but you go out there and make it happen.
I'm gonna tell you Wes's problem here. Wes's goddamn real problem. It's aggravating as fuck. He asks too many goddamn questions.
You talked about a network. Nobody's got a network like that man right there.
I say that in a good way, though. He asks too many goddamn questions. Sometimes I'm like, oh, shut up and fish, man. Shut up and fish.
Oh, man. John has got a daggone beard going on. Look at her. That song gun's getting serious.
It's been rough. It's been rough.
He said he ain't shaving until he wins the damn tournament.
Look, I'm telling you, it was yesterday was probably one of the roughest days I've been out there. We had a storm, several storms. Videos don't even do it justice. I mean, I saw some 10, 11 foot waves we were on a 30-foot boat, and it sits, I don't know, 12, 13 foot out of the water, and they were over the T-top coming straight for us, coming over the bow. It was thunder, lightning. It was raining so hard for about an hour. It was rough.
Making you question yourself, wasn't it? Like, what am I doing? What am I doing?
I didn't have an extra pair of underwear, but I probably needed it yesterday. It was pretty bad. And then when we got back, I heard a 60-foot, 65-foot boat got struck by lightning. Then they stayed out there overnight. Ceto wouldn't come get them.
Oh my God.
Coast Guard stayed with them, and then Ceto came and got them this morning. But yeah, they got hit by lightning.
How far out were they?
I think they were 50 miles when it happened, and they lost all electronics. Another boat, what I've been told, another boat was on the way back in. They were flagging them down. That boat stayed with them until the Coast Guard got there, and
Good.
it was
code.
pretty rough. We limped back in at about 20 mile an hour. I mean, there were 4 to 6s, but it was pretty rough. They were
answer this question.
5
was
seconds.
It so rough? I've experienced days like that, kind of, sort of. Was it so rough that you could literally piss in your pants and no one would notice?
Oh yeah, I had foul weather gear on, but I took my
you're getting wet. You're getting wet in that.
I took my hood off at one point, and a wave came up over the top, came down the T-top, and went down my jacket like the back. And I was like, well,
Let you know you were
was
live.
I was
That's
driving.
right.
We did have one slam yesterday. He peeled for 2 seconds. I mean, literally, and that was it. But other than that, I mean, we fished 2 rods. That's how rough it was. We tried. We originally had 4. Every wave that would come up, they would cross. Like, the waves in the back would throw the bait over the other line. So we ended up just fishing 2. They would pull out of the outrigger clips. We had them tightened all the way down. I mean, it wasn't fun fishing. And it stormed till about 12 o'clock. So in and out of thunderstorms all morning. You couldn't outrun them. I mean, they were 10 miles wide. You could see them on the radar. But yeah, videos don't do it justice. I talked to another guy in a 50-footer, and he was like, man, y'all got some big balls being out there at center console and that stuff. But yeah, we'll see. We're going to lay. We should have fished today. Yesterday beat us all to death, and we kind of rested up. And then tomorrow they're calling for 6 to 7s, and then Thursday they're calling for 7 to 11s. And
fishing, man, huh?
Friday is back to 5 to 7, so we're going to try to get out there Friday, and then Saturday's 2 to 4.
You talking about 5 to 7 footers?
Yes, at 7.
How far apart?
7 seconds. Cool. But it will at least be sunny. So
that's right.
But yeah, it's I mean, as far as I think Scott said, pissing away money. I mean, it's all about the experience for me, man. I just love going down there and being a part of it.
And Scott, for a lot of folks, it's a tax write-off, by the way. So, I'm saying in general, maybe not in this case, but in general, a lot of folks, it's a tax write-off for them.
Oh yeah, I mean, I expensed it.
Oh, well, there you go. Answer that. But changing subjects, kind of missed you in the Bain Lake tournament a couple weeks back, man.
Yeah, I heard you clutch that one.
I collected dough for sure. Yeah, it was not bad. There was a lack of fish caught, but man, I got lucky. I caught that dang fish right next to Mitch, literally right next to him.
He was live baiting.
He was live baiting right next to him. Yes.
And what tournament was that, Pete?
As a matter of fact, I think I cut him off and caught that fish. Yeah.
Well, you can go a little faster pulling those artificials. So
yeah. Yep.
We talking kings?
Striper.
Hey, Mac Fur said that. Wait a minute. Let's see. Mac Fur said he thinks that MJ was hooked up earlier today, but
so the boat MJ was hooked up, and I actually have a video. A buddy of mine is on that boat, and this shit's wild, man. This was I don't know if you guys can see this or not.
Yeah.
This was from today.
Oh wow.
They did not boat it. It was under 110 inches. They have to be 110 inches in order for them to.
Pete, have you ever caught a marlin?
I have not.
I have not landed a marlin, but I have hooked up with a white marlin. Does that count?
Yeah. It's a marlin.
So I take that back. In Costa Rica, we caught marlin.
Now,
I personally was not behind the rod, but we caught marlin. Does that count also? I don't know.
Costa Rica, the most interesting man in the world.
Where do y'all think, and this is why, and I read this today, and there again, everybody's got different opinions. Where do you think the best fishing in the world is for a pelagic fish and billfish?
I think it's where I was at there, Costa Rica, man.
Oh, no. No, Costa Rica was number 8.
Hawaii.
No.
Someplace in Africa.
Panama.
No.
I'd say somewhere in Mexico.
Close. Yeah. Cabo San Lucas.
Cabo, that's right.
Cabo San Lucas.
Hey, I have a Cabo reel. A Quantum Cabo.
Me and Lori was going to go last year, but they said you had to have a passport. And I was like, I ain't going through all that shit.
So I saw this guy down in Cabo San Lucas. He he his teaser is a mini marlin. It's like a $900 marlin. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Which I don't know, Pete. Whenever you guys were catching, were you guys fishing ballyhoo in a spread and pulling a teaser, or were you pulling all teasers?
So it's weird you say that because the big marlin that we actually had crashed the bait, it was like not even planned for. We're fishing for bait, and we had a bait, a little, what do you call it, a skipjack, hit the bait rig, and they were busy on the deck of the boat, and so the skipjack was skip on top of the water, and the dang blue marlin crashed that right then and there. And so they tried to get live bait out there real quick. And by that time, he was not interested. But they were pulling live. So what they were doing was trolling ballyhoo. And a lot of times you'd have one crash spread and they would feed it a live bait.
Like bonita?
Yeah, bonita about 2 pounds, 2.5 pounds maybe.
I know some of those guys use bonita, Spanish mackerel.
Spanish is pretty good bait, yeah.
They say you get good strips off bonita.
Yeah. See,
now,
the Spanish, I know a lot of guys down there sell Spanish for $10 a pop.
How are you rigging the Spanish mackerel?
Just like a ballyhoo, actually. Seriously, except you use more. You kind of got to lock it in with, I guess we'll call it rope or whatever rigging material.
But pretty much you're rigging like a ballyhoo.
Correct.
Damn.
Chin weight.
That's way above my pay grade. The biggest reel I've got on my boat is a Talica 25. I don't want nothing to do with no marlin.
Yeah.
You just got to chase him down.
That's it. Hit and reverse, baby.
Yeah, all you need is a 30 wide.
You got center console. You spin around on them.
That's right, man. Top shot at 30 wide. You're good.
Hey.
But what do you do when you get them up to the boat? When you get them close to the boat, how do you handle them? You reach in there and grab the bill and get the hell beat out of it?
Just shoot them.
Shoot them.
And grab the bill or just
you got to wear them out, and you rope around their neck, snooter rope.
You never watched Wicked Tuna?
I've never caught one. I'm just, and honestly, we're fishing for mahi. We do have one teaser out for marlin, because I mean mahi pays, I think it's 8,000 on the week and 2,000 or 3,000 a day. So we were trying to go mahi, wahoo, and yellowfin, and if we luck into a marlin, get the points for the marlin. But,
now the hit that you said you had, was it a marlin? You said you was on.
It was more than likely a barracuda, because when we pull the bait in, and this was odd because usually you see chunk, but whatever it was, I mean, I saw the bone was still left on it and the meat was there, but teeth marks were all the way up to the head. And usually barracuda or shark, if they hit it, they'll either take the line.
How deep were you when you got that bite?
We were in 430 foot. We were
probably not a cuda. Seriously, cudas will stay right on that ledge in that 160, 180, 200 foot. And then further out, usually you don't see them.
Guys, you heard that? 50 miles out, 430 feet of water.
62 miles.
Yeah,
there you go.
We were at the Swansboro hole yesterday, which is 62.
There'll be 100 boats there tomorrow.
Could have been a good. Yeah, no, yeah, whatever. Could have been probably a dolphin possible.
Yeah, we did see. We saw a couple dolphin jump. Peanut dolphin. They were small.
Old Baylors.
Why do they even have a dolphin? Why do they even have a mahi slot right there when there's not that many out there no more? I mean,
there's a lot out there. There's always dolphin out there. Always.
So I thought they're all migrating north.
They're migrating north.
Well, they do, but there'll be some chicken dolphin out there.
Yeah,
just like any other. You know how it works.
There was one weighed in today. What was it, 50-something pounds?
Yeah,
yep.
59.
The smaller fish.
There you go.
They can tolerate a lot more than the bigger ones. They're not gonna start migrating until they hit that migratory age. Scott said, "You put Salt Life gloves on, wrap your hook shirt around or wrap your hook shirt around your hand, take your ghosts off and pull them in."
That's it.
Scott, it's kind of interesting you say that because I actually refuse to buy any hook apparel. I will not ever wear any. Never buy any.
It's funny, the video I just showed earlier where the guy jumps in with his shirt and catches the bait. That was a hook shirt.
Yeah.
I've got about 30 of them in my closet.
Why won't you wear a hook, Pete? What's wrong with hook?
Let's just not get into it in the show, but I kind of sort of know the guys that, or at least a guy that runs the company, and he's a douchebag.
Oh, so you're just a hater. I got you.
I'm a hater. I'm a complete
Yeah,
hater.
just a
Hey,
hater.
you know how they got
It's
started?
like this. Why am I wanting to fund someone's apparel line that's, basic to allow them to fish on a dang 38-foot boat with dang quad 300s on there? No.
Oh,
Sounds like
hater.
a hater.
Sounds
Big
exactly
time.
like a
Big
he,
hater.
he said it. He admitted
Hey,
it.
Pete, you know how they got started in Hook, don't you?
How?
Hook, whatever. You know, they were in Clemson. They were students in Clemson,
Uh-huh.
and they just decided that they wanted to go ahead and try a clothing line and get rich without having to go all the way through college, and they made it.
That sounds
Gotcha.
like the story of like every brand out there. Like the same story as with Cass King. There's a couple of guys in college. They wanted to start a real. It's always a couple of guys in college. It's like they just sitting around smoking weed. Hey, let's start.
It's usually around the bonfire
Hey
drinking.
man, we can get these shirts from China and hot press the hook on there and sell them.
Sound like Pete's hating a little bit. I don't know, but
A lot.
there again, hey, when you're buying these pin reels and these Shimano reels and all this tackling stuff you're buying, somebody's getting money out of that they've got a big ass boat, probably with 6 motors on it, going out there fishing. So
You right, probably.
Oh yeah.
So what's your favorite fishing apparel?
I don't have a favorite apparel, honestly.
We went
We should
to
start one.
We went to one of those outlet stores.
Real fisherman got it. Let's do it.
And this is the first Columbia shirt. I bought this one and 5 more because they had them on sale for like $20.
Uh-huh.
Dry fit Columbia shirts. My wife said, "I thought you only wore Hook." I said, "Shit, not when Columbia's $20 a shirt and Hook's $50 a shirt." So,
You know what's funny is building a brand is hard. You know, because there's a million Hook wannabes out there. There's all types of apparel out there just wanting to be like Hook that's got their own apparel line. You know, and some of them do okay, some of them don't. You can find some of them on eBay dirt cheap because they bought so many from China and they just can't sell them. So you can just get them cheap, you know. And it's the same way with everything. Look at the fishing rod industry, like catfish rod industry, to niche it down. Look at like, you know, Big Cat Fever, Catch the Fever. They kind of rule that market. And you got like monster rods, and then you got Mad Cats, and you got all these different brands, and each one of them you could tell by how successful they are by how well they marketed their brand, how well they built their brand, you know. And that's, if you look at it, it's all about video editing. The companies that don't do good, it just they come onto the market and then they end up selling their crap dirt cheap, and you can find it and you see it on eBay. You've never even heard of it before. It's because they didn't make good videos. If you look at the most successful brands, especially the ones that get their product from China, they're all about video, how well they market their product via videos. Editing.
Hey Perry, I think you should come on here and tell us about your rod experience from Saturday, Sunday, whatever it was.
Pelagic is the best fishing gear I've bought so far.
It's good stuff.
Wash it. I haven't had nothing to stain none of my Pelagic shirts yet.
Well, I bought the first Pelagic shirt I bought was stained up like crazy with mahi blood. It never did come out.
So I'm an AFCO guy. I just their shirts I feel like hold up really well to stains and comfortable. The Reaper I think is one of my favorites. You know, with the pull up face mask for winter fishing. But I did buy some. You know, they got when I was down at the Big Rock. Pelagic had a 10 out, and the guy was like, "You need some of these glasses." Like, you saw my Costas; they were all scratched up, you know, beat to shit. And he was like, "You need some of these glasses," and he showed me, and he was like, "They're mineral glass," and he was like banging them up against the screwdriver or whatever, and they wouldn't scratch. So of course he sold me on the glasses. They were, I don't know, they were discounted pretty heavily for the anglers fishing in the tournament. But I bought a pair of those and a pair of Pelagic shorts, so I'm gonna try them out. But
so how much did you get for the glasses?
They were $120.
Oh, that ain't bad.
I don't know what they were on in the store. He said they were discounted for, you know, people fishing the Big Rock. So,
you know, it's funny, John, you just said that the AFCO shirt tends to be more stain repellent than the Hook and the Pelagic, and I'm sure that the other brands say the same thing, you know. But brands matter. You know, when you were a kid and your mom was like, I'm not buying you those Jordans. You can get these shoes. They're the same thing. You know, we didn't care if they were the same thing or even if they were better. We didn't care. We wanted the Jordans. We wanted the name brand. And when it comes to human beings, like placebos work very, very well on us. So even though it is just the brand and it may not be any, superior technically to any other product in that niche, it doesn't mean it won't be better to us, because doctors have given patients sugar pills and have actually cured freaking all types of ailments in humans. So just because how powerful the mind is. So branding definitely works. And, people could say what they want, but if you want a catfish rod, I want Big Cat Fever on mine. I don't want Slime Cat on mine or any other brand, because it matters to me. It may not be any different of a rod, but it is to me.
Yeah. I will say the AFCO, I've got their barricade, or not the barricade, their foul weather gear. It's not the $400 bibs, but it's water resistant as you can get. Until yesterday. Bibs. Yeah, the AFCO bibs, and I've got their rain jacket. And but again, if you don't have the hood on and take a wave behind the back,
that's right. Yeah,
I wore that water for the rest of the day. But I like their products. They're expensive, but
it's like anything else that's good quality. You're going to pay for it. Scott said, if y'all scratch glass on Costas, you lick doorknobs. Now, Scott, there are different types of Costas now. There are the real glass Costas, and then there are like the polyethylene lens, or whatever material, plastic lenses. And there's all different types. So some of the cheaper ones, I imagine, probably do scratch. Or maybe it's the expensive ones that scratch. I don't know.
Now, boots, I haven't really had. I ordered a pair of pelagic. Then they messaged me back and said they were on back order, so they put my money back in my account. So I bought a pair of extra tough last year at Chesapeake Bay because I left my mucks at home, and I can't understand why I ever wore them uncomfortable son of a bitches. That's the worst damn boot on the market. Muck is garbage. So I bought a pair of extra tough in Chesapeake Bay. I wore them things a little over a year, but I was wearing them you can wear them like shoes.
Yeah, you can wear them like shoes. The problem with them are they're very, very comfortable. And I'm like you, Wes. I wore my extra tough. I'm on my third pair. I wore them every day.
Yeah.
Just about. And the problem with them are they don't have enough arch support. They're extremely comfortable, but you need more arch, especially us, us middle-aged guys. We need that arch support.
See, my extra toughs leaked. I actually went to Huck because it was the only thing I think I could get shipped to me in 2 days before a tournament or something. And I've had them for a little over a year and they haven't leaked, but I still have the pair of extra toughs, and those things, I guess they got a hole in them somewhere, but they leak water.
Yeah, I imagine that happens. Their quality control must have missed some of them.
I didn't give them a second chance. Let's put it that way.
you can sell them.
I won't buy another boot no more.
What size you wear, John?
These are 11s.
A little snug on my foot. Wes might be able to wear them.
Shit, I wear 12 and a half.
Okay. What size you wear, Pete?
11 and a half.
Do you really?
Damn it.
Your foot that big? Your foot ain't that big. Pete. Come on. Is it really?
Pete, it'll surprise me if you were over a 7.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, hell.
Motherfucker's about
11 and a half in women.
Damn, it's still big enough to whoop your ass.
Look, I cuss my daddy every day. He just didn't bless me with the feet. Sorry.
About 5.3 inches. Talking about he wears 11.
Yep, I'm a little girl.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's Matthew talking about? Rincons.
That's what I have is the Rincons, but I have the 580. They scratch.
So those are made by, you said AFCO?
No, the Rincons are Costas. That's
okay.
what he saw them on my head when I was here. He's like, "You need some that don't scratch." And I was like, drunk, and I was like, whatever.
So the truth comes out. The only reason you bought those AFCO,
eating the shit out of them, and I was like, just give them to me, whatever. He's like, these shorts too. I was like, sure. I was like, throw in a hat. He was like, come by next week. Or, during the week, he was like, I can't give it to you. My boss is watching.
I would have been like, you sell bologna? Because that's what I'm going to be eating for the next month if I buy these damn things.
Don't tell the wife.
I I bought a pair of coasters 4 years ago at Big Fish Outfitter, Tuna Alley. And I ain't had no, I wear them every day. They've been dropped and stepped on, and I don't think I can tear them up.
So I have a pair of coasters I've had for about 6 years now, 7 years. I use frequently. It's actually the ones I won in that High Rock tournament from years back. Best damn pair of glasses I ever had. Still got it.
Here's a funny story. When me and Wes went fishing with Clint and Chuck out there in Virginia on Clint's
Bertram,
I brought some Walmart glasses. I'm nearsighted. I have to wear glasses. I'm blind. Well, I had broken my glasses the day before that trip, so I went on that trip blind. And I knew I needed some sunglasses for the cobia fishing and everything. So I stopped at Walmart and I bought some of them like Kevin Van Dam specials back there, like the bass fishing glasses,
some Calcuttas or some shit.
So I'm up in the crow's nest. I'm up in the tower, sight casting to cobia. Blind is a damn bad. And they're like, "Man, you're killing it. You're doing good." I'm like, "It's luck, because I can't see shit." I'm casting out there. But anyways, Clint looked at me and he was like, "What kind of glasses you got on?" And I took them off and I was like, whatever they were, it's like Kevin Van Dam's or whatever. And he was like, "Nah." And he yelled down to the first mate, was like, "Grab those Maui Jims out of the first drawer." So he gave me some Maui Jims. I wore Maui Jims the rest of the day.
What was great about this trip?
That was
John, Pete, what made that cobia trip so great for me, which I did tell them later. So, I'll pat myself on the shoulder. They were sight casting. We're sight casting for cobia. And when you hook up, you just hand the rod down, people fighting it down in the boat, right? Dude, I got to fight like 15 fish and I didn't have to watch shit. I just fought the fish. They'll sight cast and hook it and then hand it down. And Chuck kept saying, "Man, you sure you don't want to go up there and sight cast to him?" I said, "No, man, I'm scared of heights, dude. I ain't getting up there." That was one trip where all I did was catch fish. I didn't have to sight. I didn't have to cast. I didn't have to get the hell beat out of me up there in that tower. You think rough, when you're rough on a boat, when you get up in there in that crow's nest, if you're rocking 2 feet down here, when you go up there about 12 feet, you're rocking probably 20 feet.
Well, it's fun because you're up. I was up there with Clint, and
fun about that.
What's the other guy's name that we fished with?
Clint and Chuck.
No, it was Clint and the guy who came
Kenny
and first
Mills.
made it. Kenny Mills.
Kenny Mills.
It's me, Kenny Mills, and Clint Lassard up there. And I've been around those guys for however long I was up there fishing in that crow's nest, and you get close to guys on a boat. Like, I feel like we're family now. Like we were up there like hugging and high fiving, and just we were getting chummy up there. It's when you're that close to guys up there in the crow's nest,
how chummy was y'all getting, JR?
You all have to like be on the same wavelength. You have to like be thinking the same thing. You can't be up there, not paying attention. So
I am not Scott. Hey, Scott, jump your ass on here so we can dang talk Hot Wheels to you.
I gotta share this.
I'm half listening and half watching.
I can add that.
This was yesterday.
Oh wow! Oh, that's nasty.
I swear, video does not.
How did you add that? How do you know more about this app than I do?
I'm an IT guy.
Oh, okay. Well, that was pretty amazing. You're the first guest we've ever had actually share a video on here like that.
That
porn
was
IT guy, same thing, right?
Like a porn star in the house.
Videos do not do it justice. Like a buddy of mine.
You don't have to explain to me. I've been out there enough to know that a camera will flatten those seas out like nothing. And,
I sent it to my wife, and she was like, "That doesn't look bad." She was like, "I see some." I can still see over. I was like, "I'm telling you."
No, that's a nightmare.
I'm telling you, they were on. It was a washing machine.
Absolutely.
And then you'd see a freaking 10-foot swell, and it'd come over the boat. We're in a 30-foot boat, which is small for out there.
It's small for out there. Yeah,
pretty big.
Yeah,
boat.
people watch those tankers in those rough seas, and those tankers are probably 500 feet long. Yeah, they can handle it. You're out there in a little bitty 30-foot little bitty boat out there, and that it makes a 30-foot boat like it's just a speck.
A bath toy.
Yep.
That's what we were yesterday.
Scott Perry said 2 footers. It's funny because you look at a video where Sky had in Florida where he was in some scary conditions, and it really does look like
a foot and a half waves.
Yeah, it looks like foot and a half waves out there.
Shade.
Little tiny little bitty waves out there. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, you
In a little aluminum boat, right?
Yeah, beating his ass.
$100,000 aluminum boat. Get you a damn sport fishing for that much. Come on, Scott.
JR, where's that video where me and you were up there in Chesapeake Bay? You could see how big them waves was in my little boat. It scared the shit out of me. And it was like the further we went out, the worse it got. And usually the Chesapeake Bay, the way it works is the way the land is, the way the bay's laid out. It'll be rougher closer to shore and calmer out. But that day, the more and it looked like it was calm out there, but the more we got out there, the worse it got, dude. I mean, I got scared. I was really scared.
One of the most roughest conditions I've ever been in. It was actually the U.S. Open King tournament. What was it, 3-4 years back? And I had it on my Facebook before I got hacked and I started a new account. But on day 2 of that tournament, it was 4 to 7 footers halfway through the Cape Fear River. And so we're all in line trying to check out, waiting in line for that 7 o'clock checkout horn. And I mean, all these damn boats are actually facing towards Southport because that northeast wind's blowing us towards Caswell Beach. 4 7-footers right there in that waterway. I mean, it was terrible. And once we got in the ocean, it was about that bad. 4 to 7-footers, an occasional 10 thrown in if you went out there about 2-3 miles. It was, it was gusting to 35, 40 miles an hour that morning. It was terrible.
That's what it was, 35-mile-an-hour gusts yesterday. Yeah. And the crazy thing, we went through 2 or 3 storms that were just rain. And then when we were 60 miles out, the temperature dropped like 20 degrees. I'm not shitting you. I had my jacket off and I immediately grabbed it. I was like, it's about to get nasty out here. And that temperature dropped 20 degrees. And about 5 minutes later, it was just sounded like hail.
Yes, sir.
That was 30 minutes of that. I recorded the end of it because I couldn't take my phone out. I was hanging on, one at the T-top and one at the chair. I mean, we were just rocking and rolling.
Yeah, that was mine when me and Wes were at the Chesapeake Bay. That's what happened to us. Like, I couldn't get my phone out to record. I got the very end of it where it's kind of calmed down.
You laugh like Scott. Idiot.
Oh, my God. That's pretty funny.
Don, you ain't got no more of that video, do you, JR?
I maybe somewhere. Definitely wouldn't be able to find it right now.
That was brutal.
That day I was shooting that video there before the U.S. Open. I mean, it's blowing so damn hard that you could not even hear me talking on the camera there.
How about reading that out? Read that out loud, Pete.
He said, "I would rather blow a porcupine than be in that shit all day."
I'd swallow the needle sometimes. It was rough yesterday. It was rough.
Scott's all about blowing, but blowing and licking doorknobs.
And I think
there again, saltwater fishing, you fish when the ocean says you can fish. You pick and choose your days. That's another reason I don't like. I've never been interested in tournaments because on tournament day, you got to fish. If you choose to fish and lose your money in some of the worst fucking weather, because it seems like that's the only time foul weather ever happens is during a tournament.
The guy's boat that we're fishing in, they fished the Jollymon Saturday, and I think it was Saturday and Sunday, but and you went out Saturday, Wes. I mean, the weather was, and I took my boat out for an hour. I had electrical problems and put it on the water at 1, ran to the Big Rock hole 42 miles out for an hour and saw 50 boats and came back in. But Saturday was perfect weather. Couldn't have asked for.
Oh man. Hey, and coming back in, it was flat until I got about 7 miles offshore.
Yeah, then it got choppy. It
started getting a little bit choppy, but hell, I run at 41 miles an hour. I put my motors at 41 miles an hour.
Damn, you was running like Pete.
5,700 RPMs, and I let her eat.
Hey, John, when me and Wes went with Pete out on our way back in, me and Wes, we looked at each other and was like, man, I don't think you need to be going that fast, do you? And Wes was like, no, I don't think you needed to be. I don't think you needed to be going that fast either.
Bitches laid
he was fucking hammered down, boy. He was not letting off the throttle.
The beanbag's the most comfortable seat in the boat. That's what they
Yeah,
call
we
it.
were in bean bags. If we had to been in bean bags, we'd still be
My
in fucking
God,
traction.
dude, it was like a high speed pursuit, man.
Hey, when the boat
Bolo, no
John,
kidding, it was bolo.
One
John,
thing I learned about Wes is that
John, we're in the back of the
bitches
fucking
about
boat,
every
right?
damn thing.
John, we're in the back of the goddamn boat, and we're hitting waves so fucking hard. The goddamn beanbag is coming up off the floor of the boat and landing us back down.
I mean, this son of a gun's hammered down, John.
Hey,
He's
and
not.
JR done
WOT.
his glasses like 12 fucking times because every time we'd hit his glasses would slide down his nose.
So the guys that I went out with yesterday, I was driving and they were in the back on bean bags, and we were going 15 mile an hour, just 20 mile an hour. That's all you could do, keep the bow up and break these waves. And they're like, it ain't bad. And then once we got out there and they stood up, and I was like, yeah, y'all. I was like, I've been fucking driving this son of a bitch 60 miles. Like, y'all are in a bean bag. You get the best seat in the house.
Hey, the only thing bad about my boat that I don't like, which now when Keith goes with me or JR, I do sometimes, but most of the time I'm having to drive, no matter how rough it is, and I don't ever get to sit in them $600 worth of fucking bean bags I bought.
Hey, if I go fishing with you, I'll drive any day.
Hey, you can have it.
But don't be complaining about me running wide ass fucking open and
Hey,
then
ask
the bean bag.
Pete's
Ask
got
Scott
some really
Perry
good
if I
sea
won't
legs.
let you drive.
Because you look at Pete when he's doing
Sorry.
40 miles an hour in 3 to 5s, with 4 seconds. You look up there and it's like we're running in flat seas. That's what he looks like. He's just,
and you're
and I'm like,
your helm is further up.
He's just
right?
up there
you're
like
on your boat, Wes. You're not
I'm
back like
closer
in
up.
center console.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah, his
probably-
Wes's boat rides better than Pete.
It really, but my boat really rides good for what it is. It really surprised me the first time I took it down in rough water.
I
It
haven't
really
Wes. I haven't been in a lot of boats offshore fishing, but Wes's boat rides better than any boat I've ever been in, especially for a little 24-footer.
Scott says he always has to drive the truck and boat when he goes with you, Wes.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, I get tired, dude. I mean, I get fucking tired.
Scott, at least I ain't testing no damn EPIRB, wondering what that red fucking button does.
Hey, look here. He said Pete's standing on a milk crate when he drives.
He's wearing a size 12 standing
Pete's
on
not even that short. He's
11 and a half.
5'9".
11 and a half. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, you got
Aren't
me.
you like 5'9", Pete?
Oh yeah, 5'9", 5'10", arguably.
5'10".
Hey,
Yeah,
Hey, Prince
that's
was
taller
5'9".
that's taller than average.
Yeah.
Prince was 5'9", wearing stacks.
No, Prince was definitely Prince was shorter than 5'9". Come on, yeah, definitely.
You know what? Like Red Fox said. He said, "I don't like them little half a motherfuckers."
How
He
tall
said-
was Prince?
He's good. He's good
5'2".
Oh,
Prince was
hell.
5'2".
So Pete, I thought you were supposed to be working this week. That's why you weren't going to fish the big rock.
I got in actually yesterday, and I go back out tomorrow.
You can still make it Friday.
I get back on Sunday.
That's
You see that damn weather
He-
forecast?
he-
And I'm telling you right now, seeing that weather forecast, I want to work.
Pete gets paid to see the world.
In the
I
stars.
need you to spot a weed line for me for Friday.
Let me think. What am I doing the next couple of days? That might not be possible.
Spot
Hey,
and
John,
weed
if
lines.
it's
Like,
any-
what does that mean, John?
John, if it'll help you any, all the weed lines that we seen out there, 160, 180 foot, I seen some weed lines almost a mile long.
Well, the weed lines we saw were spotty because it was just so rough.
Yeah.
They were all broken up.
Were those biting flies worse around those weed lines?
Too much damn wind for there to be
Yeah,
biting flies.
I mean,
too much, man.
there was we saw a bunch of flying fish. They were actually smaller than what I'm used to seeing out there. So we we did have a few like flying fish rigs, and we went the smaller size, like squid chains with flying fish. But
Mhm.
Joe, let me ask you this real quick. When you're trolling ballyhoo, are you guys using, you're fishing for mahi apparently, which you said earlier. You guys using the normal size ballyhoo?
we went small.
All right.
I have small and medium, and I have a horse on a we had a marlin, pitch bait ready for the teaser.
So you didn't have a horse in the spread?
I've always done, this time of year, always with these smaller ballyhoo for mahi and tuna both.
Now,
Yeah,
John,
Matter of fact, the yellowfin we caught 2 weeks back was on a small ballyhoo.
What are y'all calling teasers? Just a bait out there with no hook in it?
No hook, yeah.
And then what? You see a fish try to hit it, then you throw a bait to him?
You see them come up in the spread, or they'll try to. I've never personally seen one come in. I have seen wahoo, and I've also seen cobia come up behind. I've seen cobia almost hit the freaking boat motor, where they'll follow the boat. I don't know if you've seen that, Pete, but cobia will get right up in there.
I've had 4 nose in the back of my boat before.
Yeah,
I have a mahi teaser that are actually mahi. They're like,
what? But why don't you just put a fucking hook in the teaser? Wouldn't that make life a whole lot easier?
Well, when it comes to the mahi, the teaser, they're coming up, like, especially if you're using a mahi teaser, they're coming up and swimming with the teaser. Because you ever went mahi fishing and you catch that first mahi and you leave it on, so more mahi will come up and hit your other baits in your spread. You know how you leave that first one on? You ever done that? Well, that's what the teasers will do. They get the fish to come up to your spread. So you're not really necessarily trying to catch a fish on the teaser. You're just trying to get the fish.
You're just trying to draw them to your other bait.
Usually it's a more. So I mean, like one of the teasers I have is about a $240 teaser. I mean, you wouldn't. That gets bitten off, you're crying. But I mean, yeah, you leave it out there and let them come up in the spread. Now it's never happened on a marlin for me, so I've never caught a marlin, but we're obviously just hoping to luck into one.
It's harder to catch. It's harder to utilize teasers on a small boat. You just don't have enough room. I tried doing it on my boat when I first got my boat, and we were running teasers off both sides of the tramp. Man, we caught an amberjack, and them high dollar teasers was tore all up. Well, they was all in them things. Now, we had the Mylar teasers, the giant bar with the million Mylar. Yeah, we had all that crap. Wow, what a waste of money.
So I tie mine off to the first. It's on the first eye of the outrigger, and then I have a clip on the transom eye and let it drag that way.
Now, the blue marlin is top of the line in saltwater fishing, right? As far as trophy saltwater fish, it's not going to get no better, right? As far as
unless you want a great white shark.
I'm talking about as far as like trophy fishing, pelagic fish.
Yes, I would say so.
John, we're gonna need you to dumb it down a little bit. If we're Larry Moe and Curly, and you're the smart guy. Scott said Larry Moe and Curly and the smart guy that feels stupid. He has to go back out in that shit again. This is classic.
Yeah, I mean, I do have to go back out in it, but you can fish 4 days. We're only fishing 3 because I'm not going out tomorrow and I'm not going out Thursday in 11-footers.
Nope. You can go out, try fishing 20 miles for that damn one dolphin,
That's why that's the thing.
There are people that, they'll wait for the roughest day. Now, obviously, they're in bigger boats, but
that's why nobody will remember your name
because all it takes is, a 10-pound mahi or.
Well, hey, look what Zach and them did on Wicked Tuna. Them boys was out there at a 25-foot contender, just killing it, dude.
Zach,
killing it. Yeah, from Wicked Tuna.
You talking about the guy at Pinwheel?
Yeah, from Wicked Tuna.
No, not 25-footer.
Oh. No, not the Pinwheel. Zach from the Rasta Rocket, from Wicked Tuna.
Oh, what is he got? A center console or something?
25-foot contender. Yeah, 25-foot contender.
Okay, yeah.
I'll tell you what. I know them boys personally, and Wes, I told you a little something about them.
Yeah,
they're just fucking crazy altogether. They really are. They're
flat out crazy. They're dangerous. I mean, I wouldn't want to hang around them.
All those guys out there yesterday are crazy. I think they're if you look at the Big Rock videos, there's one, I can't remember what boat it was on. Might have been Builder's Choice, but they had a video of the seas, and there's one guy in Grundon's full fishing gear, foul weather gear, and there's another guy in basketball shorts and no shirt, and he's out there Lieutenant Dan in it, cursing the sky. I mean, it's piss and rain. And they're on, 60-foot sport fish and getting just beat to shit. I mean,
by then they're drunk anyways.
Yeah. I couldn't even drink yesterday. That's how, it was just,
oh man,
it was so rough. But you couldn't hold the beer. I mean, like you couldn't hold it.
So would you say Michael Jordan's yacht would have got the hell beat out of him yesterday?
It was rough for them, I'm sure. I mean,
Yeah.
even in that size boat, they're still getting bounced around.
Cool.
But I know they did not. I can check here and Matt, yes, we can meet up Friday. Hopefully, I'll be at the weigh-in. Let me just check and see what they did. I don't think they did anything.
John, changing subjects a little bit. You want to fish king tournaments with me this fall?
I will. Love to.
You want to do U.S. Open? Mark it down. I'm off for it, and my normal crew can't do it already. So
Let's do it.
do game for it, man. I know I can get 2 more folks on board.
Hey, John, you want to go to the James River with us and catch giant catfish?
Hey, fuck no. Hey, fuck no.
I'm out on the catfish.
Oh my
That's
God.
right. He's a striper guy.
I do like the channel stripers.
Channel stripers.
So the catch 23 has a goose egg right now. Nothing. So 80
right,
foot
well,
Viking.
John's off the catfish, so I guess I'm out of here, guys.
Look, they're just dead weight, man. I don't know.
Oh my God! Why
Benji,
does everything
I
have to
don't
be
trust your ass
such
with
a?
a gaff.
Why does everything got to fight like a wahoo for you to like it?
That's the sport of it. You
don't like brim fishing?
It's like those amberjacks. I hate catching those bastards too.
Fuck yeah. Thank you.
They
Thank
fight
you.
like crazy. If an amberjack jumped out of the water like a tarpon, it would be the #1
You
sought
damn right
after
it would.
I mean,
fish
yeah,
in
if
the
it was an
ocean.
acrobatic fish, yeah,
Hey,
absolutely.
well, how about a spinner shark? A spinner shark is 3 times
God,
as
here we go.
acrobatic.
Yeah, it has shark in the name.
No. A spinner shark is 3 times as acrobatic as any fucking tarpon ever has been. They can jump higher, and they'll actually spin and make complete circles. Tarpon come out of the water and bounce a little
Since
bit,
you like
fall
sharks and spinner sharks so much, you know what we need to target? A mako. I would love. John, you would probably even like to catch a mako. Pete,
Wait, okay, let's back up. Let's look at Jack
What do you do
Crevalle.
when you catch the
A
shark?
Jack Crevalle, a Jack Crevalle,
And then what?
eat it.
a Jack Crevalle.
Mako's. You know how much mako costs? Mako would cost you $35 a pound at the fish market. It's high.
Damn good
dollar.
tuna costs $40 a pound.
Group
Grouper
of
costs
eight.
$40 a
Let's look
pound.
at Jack Crevalles. People love to target jacks. They ain't worth a shit for nothing. Nobody eats them. You can't even eat them.
They're
But why does
sporty.
people target them? Because they
Sporty.
fight good.
That's right.
Am I right, John?
The
Am I
worms
lying?
taste- I mean, the worms taste great too. He's true on that.
Oh my God.
I don't like oodles and noodles in my dang fish meat.
We're talking about fish. They're coming out of polluted water anyway.
All right, what about king balls, Pete?
Ugh.
I'm actually not big in fried fish, period. So king balls, I mean, I would eat it, absolutely, but it's more grilled for me.
I've heard they were awesome. I've seen videos where the guys are making them. I mean, they look cool, but I mean, where's kingfish?
Yeah.
You guys like king mackerel? I'm not
I
a
do.
huge fan. I mean,
I do.
it's good. It's good. I'm not going
don't
to turn
care
my
for
nose up at it, but it's definitely not some of the best eating fish.
Now, I've heard Spanish are good if you eat them the same day, but if you try to freeze them and thaw them back out and eat them,
Yeah,
They're no
I mean,
good.
those
Spanish
fish
are
aren't
good
even-
if you got to bleed them. You got to bleed them.
Oh boy, here we go with the bleeding. You got to bleed them and soak them in sun drop and milk.
Buttermilk.
If I got
That's
to
what you
go
gotta
through
do to
all these
catch
steps to make something edible, I just would not even eat it. I mean, you guys are talking about you got to bleed them and you got to do all this.
I mean,
but you're scared to death
jokers,
of a few worms that are like.
Don't some of you jokers like
portion of a
marinate your
fish.
fucking catfish in some milk or some shit just to take the blandness out of it?
Buttermilk.
Buttermilk? Yeah, buttermilk makes everything better. I ain't gonna lie.
I soak those catfish in buttermilk. Channel cats, anyways. I won't eat
well,
it.
listen,
I so crappy in buttermilk. It's
Wait a
pretty good.
minute. What are you
If
talking
you
about?
put
You
the
catch
right-
catfish, John? I thought you didn't like
Channels.
catching
I
catfish.
don't mind a channel catfish.
Oh well, a minute ago you said channel stripers. I thought you were joking. Or
It's an
Did you-
inside joke. It's an inside
Oh,
joke.
okay.
You gotta understand.
if you put the right sauce, or the right seasoning on anything, you can make anything. You can make cow shit taste good.
Yeah,
But
just
for
sprinkle
cow
some
shit.
MSG on it.
Yeah.
Good to go.
Or to slap your mama, cow shit would taste good. You know, if you put the right sauce on it, anything would taste good.
Sprinkle MSG on some dirt.
Yeah.
Takes-
Well,
takes
Scott,
good.
I did not piss all of my money away. They did give me a nice leather bag.
What is that? A Dolce and Gabbana?
This is this I don't know what it is, but they gave.
Looks
I
like
got a
it's
bag.
leather. Is it leather?
It's not leather. It's
Duck canvas or
It's
something?
canvas
Okay.
with a leather patch.
Nice.
So this was $3,500.
You realize how many little Chinese kids stayed up all night filling their bags?
Actually, this one says made and assembled in USA.
You realize how many little American kids?
And they made some damn good money too.
Yeah, I know,
Well,
right?
it was made and it was assembled, but the material came from China.
Malaysia.
I'm sorry, but Wahoo is probably one of my favorite.
Yeah,
Fish.
mine too. Well, I mean, you can't argue that. You would be hard pressed to argue that Wahoo aren't at least top 3, 5 fish.
Top
Man,
five.
listen, black sea bass is the best fish eating fish.
Oh,
in
it's
the
up
ocean.
there. It's up there,
Yes,
man.
it
It's
is
it's
the best.
delicious.
I've
It
never
is
tasted
delicious.
nothing like it.
I could catch a black bass and knock the side off of it and roll it up in a rice roll and eat it right there on the boat. Sushi.
Hell yeah.
Black sea bass is good.
I've never had it raw.
It's
Oh,
good
dude.
raw.
It's very good. Make black sea bass ceviche. Amazing.
Absolutely.
I've had not bonito, not bonita, but I've had bonito raw. It's like sushi. Pretty good meat.
I think I think they're in the tuna family, aren't they? Bonita.
Little tuny.
True Bonito.
I've been eating pretty dang good with that yellowfin. Was it last week? We caught 2 weeks ago. Man, whew.
So apparently, why do the yellowfin not? And one was caught today, but apparently they're not as prominent.
It's really hit and miss. So let me tell you boys about this yellowfin, by the way. I didn't really get to tell a story here, but we literally hooked that fish within the first 5 minutes of fishing and didn't even get all my rods out. I think I was working on my last rod, getting it set up, DTX minnow, getting that shock leader on there, and didn't even let it touch the water before that, yellowfin fired off. And boys, when I say I've never had a fish run like that, I've never had a fish smoke raw like that. He hit, and I'd say his first run, he probably peeled off about 150 yards, give or take a little bit. I picked up the rod, gave my buddy a chop.
What are we talking? 150-pound yellowfin here?
Good night, Benji.
60.
And so I handed him the rod. The boat's still going about 6, 8 knots, whatever we're doing. And I hand the rod, the fish is running. He's like, "What do I do now?" I'm like, "Just fucking hold the damn rod, So we're going. The fish stops. All right. So we start, we clear all the rods and, get everything, squared away. And then that damn fish hit a third gear. I mean, he went from stopping to smoking 250 more yards. Boom, like that. And I mean, he fucking dumped it. And then from there, we finally got him, 30 minutes later, he got him in the boat. But
a 60-pound yellowfin is money.
He was 68 and some change.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Biggest yellowfin I've ever caught was probably 25 pounds.
Yeah.
I caught one 116 pounds, and I don't give a damn if I ever.
That's right. That's that trip you went on with Drew, wasn't it? You guys had like wheelbarrow fulls of like 150-pound class yellowfin.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Now, mind you, that yellowfin already had a dang 150-yard head start because it hit the way back, But it was
Did you catch him on ballyhoo or DTX minnow? Is that what you said?
Got him on a ballyhoo, small ballyhoo, on my most favorite yellowfin color. Actually, it's kind of funny how it all progressed because that's always the first rod out in my boat, usually the shotgun. And I had a wire leader I was getting ready to put out. I'm like, no, for some reason I'm feeling like there may be a tuna out here. So I made a audible last second. Took that one off and put on my favorite tuna color, and it definitely paid off, no doubt about it. Now, I'd say an hour and a half after we caught that yellowfin, we actually seen maybe about a half dozen more jump in our vicinity, and they were out there, no doubt about it, but did not get an opportunity at number 2.
It sounds like one of my trips. Oh yeah, look at that monster!
Yeah, boy.
That's just a blown up black fin, and someone spray painted the fins yellow.
That's right.
Monster.
So the whole entire time we had no idea it was yellowfin too, by the way, until the last 10 minutes.
Could you imagine catching those on like spinning gear, stand up spinning gear?
Yeah, it'd be crazy.
Now, Pete, you had what are you using? 60-pound braid with mono top shot.
We were using so that one there, I used 30-pound mono all around. However, that one there, my shotgun, I used 40-pound mono. So it's 40-pound, followed by the actual fluorocarbon leader was 60 pounds.
So you don't do any braid with
No braid. No,
with
I hate braid. Trolling the stream, no braid in my boat. All straight mono.
So I use braid. Well, my 80s are all mono, 80-pound mono, and then my 50s have 80-pound or 120-pound, 100-pound braid with 250 yards of mono top shot.
Gotcha. And let me correct myself, by the way. When I'm trolling artificial, the DTX minnow, I will use braid on that, and I will use braid on the planer rod as well.
So it cuts the water.
Yeah.
What size you say your top shot was, John?
Top shot, I'll run. I've got 100. I've got one with 130, and I've got some with 80.
Okay.
Just depends on.
Damn, all my top shot 60. I might better go bigger.
Well, some of those fish, especially like marlin or wahoo, when they get up there, it's only good. You have to peel back 10 yards every time you get a fish on. I mean, they just tear the shit up.
If we'd have caught that during the big rock, would that have been money?
Probably not.
There was a almost 60-pounder weighed today, 59.
No money.
But yesterday, 50, I think, took it.
46, I think it was, right? 46, 48.
Yeah, 48. That was it.
All right, guys. Well, hey, it's been a great show.
Oh, there he goes.
Are you guys wanting to stay on, or you want to call it?
Don't matter. I'll stay on a little while longer.
Okay.
Yeah, I will.
All right.
John, stay on. We'll talk about the U.S. Open here real quick. I'm absolutely gaming for it.
You guys talk about the U.S. Open, and I will see you guys next week.
All right, we'll see you, JR.
Right.
Good night,
Good night,
buddy.
everybody.
Yeah, buddy. Are we trolling blues or
100% live bait pogies usually? I don't really fool blues too much, but I already got a spot in the slip reserved. I'll normally pin bait a couple days prior, so I'm there all week prior to. So actually, I'll be there Tuesday before the tournament. So Tuesday all the way through Sunday. The tournament is Friday, Saturday. October 6th, 7th, somewhere thereabouts, the first Saturday in the month.
I'm game.
Put it down. I'm dead serious. I mean, like I said, I get vacation around this weekend every year, so it's happening. No doubt about it.
I can be down that Thursday at least, if not earlier, but at least Thursday.
Awesome. As time comes closer, I figure out an Airbnb and all that shit because it backfired last year with the whole hurricane and entry fees and getting, tacked on refund fee due to the hurricane. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not paying till a day before a tournament this year.
And they canceled it last year altogether, right?
Yeah. They canceled it. And they pushed it back 2 weekends, I think. And I couldn't do it.
Yeah. So the guys that are fishing with me this week, they fished the Jollymon and they caught a 60-pound cobia.
Dang.
No kings. They said they were trolling they went 30 miles out to Shark Hole. Didn't have anything. Heard that they were catching them off the beach. So they trolled right by one of the piers. They watched a big old king get reeled in from the pier. Said the pier guys were yelling at them like, get back. So they made 2 or 3 passes through there, and then they trolled up to the next pier. I can't remember which one it is. Ocean Crest, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
So they watched another king get reeled in off that pier and couldn't do anything. I think the winner was caught out of, or the winner for that day was caught out of Georgetown.
Yeah, down that way. See, a lot of big fish were caught on the beach, no doubt about it. But generally speaking, man, you know that time of year, you ain't gotta go about, let's say, 8 miles out the furthest usually.
Yeah. They used bluefish. Troll.
I'm not a huge believer in bluefish in the fall because there's so much pogies out there that oftentimes these fish really key in on the pogies. Some of my biggest kings in October have come zigging and zagging literally in the suds. When the conditions are right, that's normally where I hunt my big fish, in the suds, legit. Like, I can hear the people talk on the beach. That's how close I am to the beach, catching them.
That's what
it's literally, man, you're fishing for that one bite, so.
Yeah.
A lot of times I'll go out there, go to one of my, some of my numbers out there and fish for the morning. And usually the sud bite, I call it the sud bite. We'll call it the beach bite. Generally, man, around noon, 1, 2, 3 o'clock, that's when they really hit the beach at that time, usually, when the conditions are right. So,
what's your biggest king?
Biggest king that I've been a part of, 46, I think. Biggest king I've personally caught, 36 point something. Second biggest king ever I weighed in the U.S. Open. So,
nice.
34 and change. And you know what? It was only good enough for 7th.
See, you got a little money, right? They paid 10.
Yeah, we got for that one there. We got we made the mistake of not going all in for all the categories, so we didn't win that much. Like maybe 1,500, maybe. So yeah.
Well, let's go all in.
I will. $2 grand, 1980 all in for small boat.
Let's do it.
I'm in. I'm doing it.
Where did they draw the line at small boat, big boat? 25 foot?
30, I think, isn't
So it depends tournament to tournament. Some is under 300 horsepower and some is 23 foot.
300, yeah, that's right. Jollymon's under 3 if you have 300 horsepower less. You can have twin 150s.
Correct. And I do not like that rule at all. I'd rather have a size. And that's the main reason why I got the boat that I have, is because I want to be in that 23 and under. The U.S. Open is 23 and under. So, yeah.
That way you're not competing with a 42-foot Freeman.
Yeah, exactly. With twin 150s right now.
quad 425s on the back.
Yeah.
What's that kid that won it? His dad's like one of the charters. He went out in his 18-foot skiff and won it last year, right?
I wasn't a part of it last year because of it being pushed back.
Well, I think that was the U.S. Open or one of the King tournaments down there. The guy's dad's a guy.
Oh, you're talking about, so that was the fall brawl. That's the I know you're talking about.
And he went out there and
right outside of Charlotte.
12 years old. 12, 13, 14 years old, something like that.
That kid that won it though, like he is like raised in the Kingfish.
I heard that's all he does.
That's all he does. Yeah.
When his dad goes out, he's on the boat.
Yeah, he's the owner of the Ocean Isle Fishing Center. Captain Brant McMullen.
Yep. That's wild.
Braden, I think is his name.
I can't imagine going out 14 years old and you're solo fishing your own boat and then winning the tournament. You're 14 competing.
I know, right?
I mean, that's just nuts.
Mm-hmm.
What's the big allure to kingfishing? I mean, my take on it, first time I did it, we caught 2 fish, but people say they smoke and they scream they're smoking drag. Well, fuck, if you're running 4 pounds of drag, a damn catfish is going to smoke drag.
Well, number one, I think the method that you're fishing maybe might not be appealing to you, but in the fall, you're pulling live bait and you can actually see the explosive strike. You'll see them blow up behind the boat or sky 6 feet out of the water. And then also they're shallower. So a lot of times there's only one direction they go, and that's straight out. So the fish out there offshore, they'll dive deep. And so you don't get those blistering runs like you do on the beach. You have a 25-pound fish smoke 400 yards on the beach.
Well, hell, if you only have 4 or 5 pounds of drag on it, what fish can't do that?
A little more than that on the drag.
Well, that day we were kingfishing, I could pinch my hands together and pull drag off the line.
No, we're probably too late.
I don't know. I was fishing the way Keith told us to do it.
And they're acrobatic fish too. One of the closer, you don't have to have a 30-foot boat and go 50 miles out to catch a acrobatic fish. You can be on the beach and catch them from a pier.
Well, the spinner shark will do that.
Shit. So I'll tell you this. So in the fall also, Wes, I ain't gonna, I'm gonna tell you this. I can't tell you how many times we've gone out there in the fall and kingfished 8 miles off the beach and caught sailfish, caught white marlin, caught blackfin tuna. I mean, you got a variety at the time of year. I mean, yes, you mostly catch kings, but you're up for a surprise, man. When the conditions are right, especially when you got nice clear water near shore, your sailfish will be there.
Damn.
Yeah.
My first trip offshore last year, the first fish we hooked into was a sailfish. He was on there for about maybe a minute. We jumped one time and we spit the hook. When I really got excited then, I was like, hell yeah, I thought I was doing something.
Yeah, heard that.
Well, sweet. I think that was my bedtime call.
Oh boy.
And I came home for 2 days and got to go to work, I guess.
I was about to say, yeah, what Airbnb you staying at? That like you got a garage all set up and everything. But I guess
No, my uncle has a place down there at Harker's Island, so I'm staying with him. And
nice.
I've got some family that are coming in later in the week. They're coming in Thursday, so they're staying in Atlantic Beach. But yeah, I just came back. I was like, I'm gonna go home and do laundry, not get beat.
Dry your clothes out, right?
Dude, I've never. I mean, I'm telling you that I was drenched.
Yeah, Scott Perry, if you're still on there, man, I'm telling you. So, I won a lot of tournaments in my days as far as striper fishing, locally fishing these damn party fish around here. But the only tournament that I want to win more in the world is the U.S. Open. That's the one tournament that I legit actually fish hard days leading up to it and the day of. I mean, that's how bad I want this one someday in my lifetime. So yeah, this tournament's pretty big overall, but at the same time, man, it's fun because you got 500 fucking boats every year in it. Just about.
Now, where does it come out of?
What's that?
Where's it fished out of?
So the tournament is based out of Southport.
Rumble in the Jungle is based out of No,
Yeah.
Rumble in the Jungle's out of
Little
Arkansas.
River.
South Carolina, Little River.
Somewhere thereabouts, yeah.
I think they do the weigh-in right there behind Captain Archie's.
I have no idea. I don't really
You
fish
ain't never
that.
fished a Rumble?
Nope.
Well, there's a lot of people fishes that.
Yep. Every fall, all the tournaments. I mean, the fall tournaments in the fall, kings are a little easier to catch, but it's just certain little things you do in the fall that normally kind of sort of do better with the bigger fish. But I mean, a lot of guys fish the fall king tournaments because your odds catching bigger fish are better then. So you get bigger crowds in the fall.
And what's the ideal speed to troll for kingfish? 1 mile an hour?
As slow as you can.
As slow as you can.
A lot of people drift. They'll just.
There's no rule. I like to troll basically. If I were to, if someone asked me how fast do you troll, fast enough to keep the bait straight.
So I could kill it with a trolling motor then.
You ain't gonna last long with that, I don't think.
Depends on your current.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping them lithium batteries I'm fixing to put on there is going to help with that.
Yeah.
Which I
I troll about a mile and a half, 2 miles an hour. In the fall, you got bigger baits and they swim better. So going real slow is not that bad. But again, these dang baits will outswim your boat sometimes.
When is your boat is getting fixed now for a live scope?
Yes, it's in the shop now.
When will
you have a live scope, Pete?
It is being put on along with everything else. Yes.
How does that work in salt water? I've never heard nobody say.
No clue. It won't be in the salt water.
It's okay. It does okay.
Oh, you having your bay boat worked on?
Yep.
Oh, I thought he was doing something to your saltwater boat.
Nope.
Live scope works in saltwater, but usually depends on like flounder fishing. Obviously, no good. I mean, you could use it for drum, but I don't really drum fish. I've tried to use it bottom fishing. It's usually too far down. At that point, when I'm bottom fishing, I'm just looking for stuff on the bottom and on my traditional sonar.
Yeah. Scott, you probably know this, I guess, but the main reason why the drag is fairly light on king fishing is because their mouths and bodies are light, or sorry, should I say soft, I guess. And you do rip a lot of hooks, I guess, with heavier drag. And I can't tell you how many times like you're fighting a fish and you actually feel a hook pop. You're like, oh shit, there's only one hook left in him, and you bring him in, you got one little lone trouble hook in the top of his head or in his back or in his tail or something, So these fish, these hooks do rip out of them all the time.
Scott, so you have used planer boards for trolling? I said something about it last year, using trolling, using my planer boards to try to kingfish, but I think Pete said it probably wouldn't work or something about the way they hit.
There are people that use planer boards for king.
Okay, I didn't see why. I couldn't see why.
I mean, a lot of them use balloons, kites.
Well, what's the deal with a kite? How is that? I've seen when I'm looking at buying rods sometimes, like I just bought another rod, a tsunami rod. I'm looking at all these different actions, and every now and then I see such and such kite rod. What is a kite rod? What is that?
I can't necessarily speak. I don't kite fish.
Well, I've never used it at all. Never ever. Scott, so in changing subject here, answering Scott's question, these baits that we troll for kings around here are about the size of the biggest gizzard shad you would use for striper back home. I mean, they're 14, 16 inches, at best, average 10 inches, I guess. So you put 2 hooks in that bait and you get a lot of missed strikes, but a lot of times these fish will hit it and they'll have 1 hook in the side of the head or 1 hook in the gill or 1 barely in the lip, oftentimes. So that's why you got that light drag, because 2 things happen. Number 1, either the hook rips out, or number 2, during the fight, somehow the second hook buries itself in the fish while you're fighting it, if that makes sense, maybe. So it's kind of a double-edged sword overall, because you will lose a lot of fish, but at the same time, you got to kind of baby some in, or else.
Now, when you're live bait fishing, do you use a single hook, or are you using a stinger hook, a treble hook?
I use double trebles or triple trebles
when you're live bait fishing.
Yep.
So what you do, just hook 1 hook in his nose?
1 in the nose and 1 in the belly, or should I say 1 in the ass? And I have a couple what I call big fish rigs, and the 3rd hook normally dangles.
And we use the couple times I've been out 18 to 20 inch bluefish.
At best, a lot of times.
What, for bait, for kingfish?
Yep.
I thought kingfish didn't even get that big.
No, they'll eat a 20 inch bluefish.
Hell
yeah. My biggest king's 26 pounds, maybe 27 pounds, something like that. And I mean, he smoked it. I don't care.
How much tag you have on it? 2 pounds?
No. I think I had it set at like 6. Enough you could still pull it off.
If you've done it long enough, you know about when you can put the heat on a fish. So, the first run, yeah, you're light, your drag's kind of light overall, but at some point in the fight, you're like, all right, now I can put the heat down on him and get him in the boat. If this fish is barely hooked, or perhaps you got baited in all the way kind of thing, but you just got that feeling a lot of times, right away. All right, you can do it, It's not like you're fighting it on loose drag the whole time. And a lot of times when I fight a king, I won't tighten the drag. I'll use my thumb on the spool to kind of, get that little extra drag on the reel, I guess.
Boys,
he's going to run. He ain't going to stop him.
Boys, I'm going to bed. Believe it or not, I'm going to actually go to work tomorrow.
Oh, hell. Well, I'll leave out tomorrow anyway, so, yeah.
Where are you going?
Nothing fun next couple of days. I think the second day I'm out, I'll be in Fort Lauderdale, I think, which is the funnest place. Other than that, I think Cincinnati and Cleveland or some shit like that. So,
well, Friday or Saturday, if you're flying over the East Coast.
I will. Hang on. I'll look at my schedule right now, and I'll tell you if I got a route that will allow me to do it.
Because we saw a nice weed line Saturday, but it was no longer there yesterday.
All right, let's see here.
It was about 2 miles long, and actually you could see, I stuck my camera under the water, you could see the fish underneath, but nothing would take. I mean, we were out there an hour, nothing would take it.
If I would, it would be on Saturday only.
I need Saturday at about 6 a.m.
Orlando, Philly, Orlando. Sorry, Orlando, Philly, Fort Lauderdale. So that'd be Saturday afternoon.
You'll see us chugging back in.
I'll fly over you, shoot the bird.
Hopefully you'll see a freaking 700-pound marlin on the back of that boat, tail hanging out the back.
Yep.
Well, if you can't get him in the boat, tie him off to the gunnel. Let him ride.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Old man in the sea style.
That's right.
That's right.
That's what I did last
I'm
year.
going to bed. I'm going to leave y'all on here so it don't kill the feed, because if I go off, it'll kill the feed.
I'm going night.
All right. I'm out as well. All right. Until
All
next
right,
time. Mark those days, man. I'm serious about the U.S. Open. No doubt about it.
I'll put them on now.
All right.
Let me know about the Airbnb when we need to start looking.
We'll figure it out about 2 weeks prior, roughly. So,
Sounds
John,
good.
good luck in the tournament. Pete,
so.
safe travels
Appreciate
on your flights, buddy.
all right. Take care. See ya.
See ya.
Catch them up.
Peace.
Peace.